Stitch waiting for you. Yeah, that's about right.
Hello, people are waiting for me. There we go. Right, turn that off so we got no echo. It says nobody watching up there. Thank you. Well, hi, Stitch.
Hello, baby.
Being as it looks like you're the only one bar us two in there.
No, I think Stitch is gone.
Oh, we've got two now.
Oh, there she is. There she is.
It's only got,
is there anybody there?
It says two watching.
It says three waiting, one more.
Oh, we got four now. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the grumpy old git in the corner. On this horrible, damn, wet, bloody day again. How's you anyway, Stitch? Oh, well, my bloody mat's rolled up already. No, I didn't straighten it to start with.
Well, while he's doing that, we've all got a bit festive around here. We've got the tree up in the background, as you can see. Not too many flashing lights for you guys. Not nice and sedate on the lighting. But he's got his hat. I've got mine.
Good afternoon, Tony, Phil. Yep, not too bad here, mate. Blood tests Wednesday. The doctor or secretary will probably ring me next week with the results, and it'll be I'll just come in and have some treatment, or no, we'll see you at the end of December. So fingers crossed, I shouldn't have to have any treatment now until after Christmas. The numbers were down low enough on my blood that they weren't too unduly worried. You're doing yours today, are you, Stitch? Yeah, I had a bit of extra energy the other morning, so I got up in the loft and with the help of the grandson, got them down. I got my little one as well here besides the table, which you see in the videos usually. And we have got lights around the wall and tinsel and Christmas fathers on the floor down there.
But we go into grotto mode on Christmas.
Yeah.
Because all the lights go on around the room and the lights go off. But you won't see us properly if we did that today.
Afternoon, Stuart. Yeah, it's for the kids, for the grandkids. Well, the two youngest ones now. The oldest one's 18. So
it's nice for me.
For you. Afternoon, Lee.
Donna. It's for Donna.
Oh, okay. Never put it up for me.
You're the Grinch.
Oh, we got a couple of lasers as well, haven't we? I daren't put them on while I've got the cameras going. Got to play havoc with them.
Well, that's what I mean. We're all about lights, which you can't see with the lights on.
The biggest issue was when I decorated. We used to have all the dangly things from the ceiling, but the plaster was that old and hard that you couldn't get drawing pins to hold them up. And if you use blue tack, it just fell off. So I come up with a brilliant idea of getting my staple gun out. Not just a normal one, an electric one, and hanging them with 1/2-inch staples, which of course brought all the plaster out down. So the decorating actually turned into a hole filling and plastering session. Afternoon, Murph, or good evening where you are.
Plus, all of those decorations came from Wilkinson's every year.
And they're shut.
So you can't get anything this year or next year, anyway.
So it'll be from B&M next year.
They don't do it.
Oh, I could have hung them on the walls between the picture frames and the mirrors and that, but
that was our Boxing Day trip out up Wilco's to buy them for
buy
next
the
year.
present, the decorations for next year. I mean, upstairs is like a post office sorting office because the daughter's at work all day. So she orders loads of stuff at Christmas, and of course it all comes here. So we're like the holding centre for all the deliveries.
So if I get up and disappear, it's probably because something's at the door. Got 900 toilet rolls behind me. Just in case there's a shortage, she's stocking up.
Yeah, you're going to love this one. They're saying the shops are going to be short again.
We're all right. I think she's going to wrap one up and give it to everybody for Christmas.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said the other day the Christmas presents have arrived.
Better to have something useful.
Well, yeah. But I've been having a lot of fun on Facebook lately as well. There was a page that I found on there, a group that is based in my old hometown originally of Abingdon. And I've dropped a couple of comments in there on places that I remember and where I used to work. And a lot of my old schoolmates and lads that I used to hang around with back in the day have all been getting in touch, which is absolutely amazing. People I haven't spoke to for God knows how many years. Paulette, good afternoon, my dear. A bit out of breath. That's got me out of breath just walking up there and back.
Oh, you did it to run.
Yeah, and I did it with a fag in my chops as well. Which probably didn't help. So has everybody got their Christmas shopping done?
No.
I'd advise to get your food shopping done. They were predicting shortages in the shops, particularly of veg. And they were saying it's down to a bad harvest because of the weather. But there's plenty of it about.
And you can always buy frozen.
Well, they got all these scare stories going now. There's the so-called pneumonia from China. That's a new import, apparently. As I said in the video the other day, 1 case of swine flu. So they're putting all warnings out about that. It's just bloody ridiculous. It really is. Simon, good afternoon, mate.
And if you do order your Christmas shopping to turn up at Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, please expect what do they call it? Not what you ordered. Yeah, you can have a chicken instead of a turkey. Maybe feed 3, not 15.
Hi, Mo. I mean, you'll be able to tell the sheep that are still out there because they're the ones that will have the test kits on the doorstep, test Santa before he's allowed in the house. But being as he's got to visit everybody else. Bet he hasn't got an EV, has he? He wouldn't get round in one night. Lost souls, hello, sweetie. It's Santa from Wish. It would have looked better if I hadn't shaved the whiskers so much. Yeah, Mrs. W, she starts her Christmas shopping for next year on Boxing Day.
First thing I bought this year was September.
September. Oh, you started late then.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I ain't seen nothing with my name on it.
You've got a pillow.
Yeah, Ollie. Oh dear. But I do that one anyway. Oh,
You
dear.
had nice rosy cheeks in that picture.
Yeah, well, that was windburn. That was from the day before fishing, that was. Yeah, they're on about that all the time, Murph. No. They've been on about it for a while now, and they can't at the moment do anything other than advise. And most people aren't going to take any notice now anyway. I mean, the figures proved that the interest in it. I think they, when they ordered the last lot, not masks, of the intervention, shall I say, apparently they only ordered about 5% because there wasn't the uptake for it. So, you know, and the thing is, now with what's coming out in this inquiry, Partygate 2.0, as I call it, we're seeing exactly the way they operate. We're seeing exactly the messages that they're sending to each other privately. Well, except for Boris, because he's managed to hide thousands of them, apparently. I wouldn't have thought that's anything to do with the new revelation of the Russian hacking, but you never know. But I believe they wiped them. They got rid of them for some reason or other. Boris was trying to play a lot of the victim on the first day. Second day, his tactics changed. He went on the attack more, started pointing the finger more. But I've said all along, he's the one that is the main one that is going under the bus at the end of the day on all this. That's my opinion.
He's just making room for Hancock.
Yeah, him and Hancock. One under the back, one under the front. I'm still hoping that they're going to do a module on the finances concerning it all, which will be very, very interesting because the Supreme Court has already said there was fraudulent dealings around it. So they've said, yes, there is a crime there somewhere. So, yes, Stuart, they probably deleted them as soon as they sent them, to be honest. And at the moment, I mean, one of the biggest things that people lent on when Roland Rat took over was the fact that he stood there and the first words or the first lot of words out of his mouth was, "We will be a transparent government." They are now because everybody's scrutinizing everything, literally every little thing they do. And they're not even trying to hide stuff anymore. He's openly said he's going to defy the law. He's going to defy everything just to push this project through. You know, if you can't beat the law, so you change it. That's his attitude, to get his own way. He's like a little schoolboy that has a tantrum. You can't tell me I can't do that. I'm the boss. I'll change the rules so I can. And to me, that is no way to run a fucking country. You know? But yeah, Boris, I mean, Cummins was the most damning evidence from what I remember. I mean, he just threw the shit at everybody. And that was one of the reasons he got pushed out. But yeah, Boris has always been the target. And I think that's why they left him till last. Well, nearly last. But I think they've done that as well to give him enough time to see what accusations are being levelled against him. So he's had time to work out his answers. He had an extra 3 days this week because they didn't start till Wednesday. You know, yeah, it just makes you think. They've lied plenty of time. Well, they've never stopped fucking lying, have they? Since they got in, to be honest. Rippy, good afternoon, buddy.
I've got to move then.
You what?
I've got to move then. I've got chocolates every time I look over there.
You got chocolate?
You've got Maltesers in the kitchen.
Oh.
You've got Maltesers. I've got
chocolate.
M&Ms. I've got peanut M&Ms.
Oh,
And every time I look over there, all I can see is peanut M&Ms. And no, they're for later.
Yeah, that's it, Stuart. That's exactly it. I mean, they're trying to force this Rwanda thing bill through now. A lot of people aren't buying it. And I think all they need is, it was either 26 or 29 MPs to vote it down, and it will fail. But I think the whole project's a failure anyway. I don't believe the figures that some of them are saying. Starmer was clearly way out with his, they've only got room for 100, because there was an independent investigation and a documentary out where they went to Rwanda and filmed the facilities and the people involved in it. Now, they said then they had the facilities for 2,000 on a rolling thing. You know, they get 2,000 in, they decide where they're going, where they're sending them, and then they'll take more in. But good afternoon, Missy. How are you? But we'll be getting a load back of theirs in return. And they did mention that we would be getting disabled people, injured people, basically people they didn't want in their country, but we'd support them. A lot of people didn't realise that we've got to pay for their upkeep while they're there for the first 5 years. And to me, it's just an absolute big waste of money. It's not going to stop the boats, as they keep saying, because the people have got to get here before they can send them there. The only way something like that would work is if they stop them coming across totally and then use that to start whittling away at the ones we've already got. It's been proved that the crime figures have gone up, although mainstream media isn't saying anything about that. We know it has. We see the results. We see the posts, the videos of it actually happening, which they seem to ignore. But we know they're biased. More, yes, sure. And now they seem to think that splitting immigration up into the two groups on the new postings after the immigration MP stepped down, whatever his bloody name was. Now you've got a separate minister for illegal immigration and one for legal immigration. So that means that's two more departments that aren't going to talk to each other, spend any data to each other. I mean, you only had to look at the London Assembly grilling them the other day. I mean, I was pissing myself. They could not produce one figure on how many were here, how many they'd lost. Absolutely hilarious. They didn't have one number between them because they don't want them out. And personally, I don't think they bloody know. Yes, Stuart. Absolutely. They keep saying their crossings are down by a third. Absolutely. Yes, they are. The boots on the ground down there will tell you that. But what the mainstream and the government ain't telling you, it's because of all the storms we've had this year and the way the weather's been changing, and that is the only thing that has stopped them.
Plus, may I say, Sunak himself said, over the last few years, the numbers have quadrupled. And they've now dropped by a third. So we're not even back to where we were a few years ago. We are not even halfway.
Yeah. And on his little speech, when he turned round and said, well, you look at the front bench. Most of us on the front bench are children of immigrants. Now, what does that fucking tell you? And they're going to love what's going on with the BBC. Now, they're putting, I will put the link up to the panel shortly, and we can talk about this. They're putting the license up by, what is it, £10.50. But they're going to get a new chairperson. Now, this chairperson is a non-born Muslim. He's not born in this country. He's been connected to the government on many, many levels. In fact, I've got the thing here that says who he is and what he was up to. Where are we? Oh, here we go. I've moved bloody files around again, haven't I? Okay, so where the fuck did I put that one? Oh my God, did I put it in there? No. Okay, did I put it in there? Ah, there we go. Right, I'll make that a bit bigger so you can see it. Now that is the guy who is tipped to be the next chairman of the BBC, backed by the government. They're absolutely delighted that he's in with the chance, and he's in with a very good chance. So that tells you just how bad the BBC are going to get. And I believe that is the only reason is they've sweetened the pot by letting them put the license up, so they can get him in there. Michael, good afternoon, mate. Very nearly evening. Roger for PM. I don't know about that, mate. I could probably cause more chaos than this lot are doing. And I could probably do it a lot quicker, but at least I'd be honest about it. Oh, and the fact that one of the early Top Gear presenters, Peter, I can't remember his surname now, was asked why he hasn't got a television license. Bear in mind, he worked for the BBC. And he said, I haven't had one for donkey's years. He said, they're not putting out anything worth watching. You know? And he's bloody right. Absolutely bang on. My parents land on the boat with Ross Laird at Fishguard. We used to do the Holyhead Dunleary trip. Yeah, even the Typhoon tea chimps. Because that's what they look like when they're in the house. I mean, honestly, I sit here and if I watch any of it, yeah, I'm listening to what they're saying, but I just laugh at them. It's they're absolutely ridiculous. But when Sunak come out the other day with that statement, that's nah, it ain't going to work, and I think everybody says it now. Braverman, yeah, she stood up and repeated what she said quite a few times before, if I'm honest. But she's saying what we've been saying all along. Yes, she did try to get some of those things in and she got shouted down for it. She did make a couple of comments on certain things which didn't go down at all well with anybody about the homeless. But now she's back on this role of going after the immigrants thing, and in particular the Rwanda project, which she still says she thinks would work. Now, there's an election coming up in May, and I've said this before. A lot of these MPs that are stepping down now, the day that election happens, they'll be able to take another post because they can't do it within 6 months. So watch those that are jumping ship. And they're the ones, because they don't have to leave until the date, they're the ones that will be voting everything down that Sunak's putting in. They will try and take him down. They will put in votes of no confidence in him. Even though they've handed in their notice, they're still entitled to do it. Yeah, Stuart, it's literally, I mean, I don't enjoy watching it. Certainly not. Far from it. But when you run a channel like mine, okay, I only do 3 or 4 videos a day. But if you don't keep up with what's going on, you can't do it. You know, mine is quite often a day behind or a few hours behind when I do it. But once you've gone a day or two past that news topic, everybody's seen the videos, seen the mainstream media, they've stopped talking about it. And it's pointless putting it out again, you know. Grumpy Sapper, good afternoon, mate. So, yeah, I try and keep up with it. I don't always have it volume on. I'll be doing other things and I'll just glance over at the headlines. And if the headline comes up, then I'm straight in here and I'll look into it. I don't take their word as gen for it. Yeah, that's it, Stuart. I know there's a lot of people don't watch it, and quite a few has often told me that the only news they listen to is the bits that I put out. So, good afternoon, old Unk.
And Grumpy Sapper.
I said good evening to Grumpy Sapper.
Okay,
I am keeping an eye on the chat more than I usually do, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think there's, if the Tories have got any hope, even a slim one, of winning another election, they've got to have a change of leadership. It's the only way they're going to do it. Unless he turns full dictator and says, fuck you, I'm taking over the country, Parliament is dissolved, you will do as I say, and I'll be backed up by the police. Which would be a waste of time, to be honest, with their numbers. But they're just another ones that are bitching and moaning all over the place again. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Yes, I mean, if you look at the right channels, you know, yeah, I'll cover a couple of main stories, and I might, if I've got time, I might throw in a couple of the smaller ones. But you'll get people that will just go in and they're just politics. They're focused on one thing, where I will look at other things around that as well, like at the Cop Out 28 and shit like that, you know. And there are the odd things I bring up in the video as well that mainstream media don't show. You know, someone sent me an item or a message or a letter, you know, look into this. Then, yeah, I will go and look into it. I get sent things on Facebook all the time. A lot of them go too deep into the things the way I cover them. So I don't use those. Oh, there goes the fucking camera. I knew it had to happen at some point. All right. Back up. I don't know why this camera does that. It's probably the better one that we've got, but for some reason it just keeps cutting out. I don't know whether it gets warm or something, but oh, see, it's back up and running again now. Just through unplugging it and plugging it back in. But it doesn't feel warm at all. Well, a little bit at the back, I suppose. Oh, we'll go on this one for a bit and we'll see what happens. Yeah, no worries, Ollie. I know you're decorating your tree today.
No, that was Stitch.
Was it?
Stitch is decorating the tree.
Oh,
Holly's doing other stuff because she's been videoing.
hi, Missy. Rob W. Good afternoon.
Oh,
That's all right, Rob. Appreciate you dropping in, mate. All helps the numbers. Not that I bother with the numbers, but I mean the subs. As soon as I get to, I think it's YouTube knock a 2 off. I don't think it's people coming in and then dropping out. I don't know whether my old mate Hutch is in the background there watching. He found me today. He used to come drag racing with us years ago. If you're out there, Hutch, welcome, mate. And this is what I mean. I've got people coming out of the woodwork, literally 2, 3 a day sometimes, that I haven't seen or chatted to for well over 40 years. And I have made time in my day where I do sit down and have a chat with them in messages and what have you, and catch up. It brings back a lot of nice memories as well. That's the other thing for me, because I don't get out and do much now. My memories are very important to me. And I've got to admit, some of the best ones have happened since I met this lady behind me here. And I'm not just saying that because she sat there.
because she's not listening.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
You're not messaging me, brother.
Oh, you are? Okay.
And I can't type and listen. So you can stop with the bullshit flattery.
Right. Well, let's see if I can get this right this week, shall we? Right, there we go. Pin down message. Bump. There it is. Yeah, a bit Christmassy, well, a bit early, but I was going to draw a you-know-what hanging out of its mouth, but...
You can do a real one on.
Yeah. But being as we got the Christmas tree up and that now, I thought, okay, and Mrs. W's got a little Christmas hat on as well.
I'm not shredding my M&Ms.
Trouble is with M&Ms, Holly, they're too crunchy for me, and they really, really bugger up my false teeth. Yo, Murph.
How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad.
I got that, Hutch. I see that, mate. Cheers, buddy. How you doing, anyway?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yeah, it's had a busy week, and I've got meetings again on Tuesday, so I'm on the heavy stuff all weekend.
Well, you know me, I don't drink anyway, so...
To be true, it doesn't bother me.
I will admit, sort of Christmas Day, when people are about and we drink, once the kids have gone and it's the adults' evening, because they all drink and they enjoy themselves, I will do a little bit extra of my medication, shall I say.
Yeah.
So I can join in. I'll get on the same level then,
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying. Yeah, no, I mean, I've ordered up the delivery for the wine and the carver and things like that. I've ordered the turkey and the ham. I'm just not feeling it, sure.
Yeah, I mean, we normally have 3 types of meat out. The whole family around. The 2 youngest grandkids go off to their dads in the afternoon after dinner. And from then on in, it's an adult's day.
Yeah.
Especially now Josh has just turned 18.
Yeah, it'll be a bit extra special this year because the eldest grandson is 18 now.
Oh, right. Okay.
So he can leave, although he has had a beer on the odd occasion before, but he's not a drinker. Well,
Well, I mean,
not
this
that
is in UAE. You don't cook or anything. I've ordered more for Emirates golf clubs, so they'll turn up with a turkey and a ham on the day, and we serve it up. You know what I mean? It comes with all the trimmings.
Mate, I get treated like a bloody king at Christmas. I sit here, do what I want. Heather and her daughter are always out in the kitchen. The daughter's partner is always the first one to get up and offer to do the washing up. And I'm never the one to miss a gift horse like that.
Well, actually, it was funny. I was thinking about you. I was ordering the pigs in blankets, and I suddenly went, now I remember Roger. I better order a couple of those. You know.
Oh, literally, I have to go out and get my pick off the tray before everybody else does. What we do is everything gets put on the table, and you fill your plate from the dishes. You have as little or as much as you want. Couple of years ago, I think it was, we made the mistake of putting out 2 big trays of pigs in blankets. By the time I'd come back in with another tray, the 2 youngest ones had emptied one tray and filled their plates up with them. So I took them all back off their plates and left them with 2 each. I said, and for your rudeness, that's all you're getting now. I did let them have more, obviously.
But everybody else has to have some. They've learned now. They're better now.
Yeah. Let everybody else have some. If there's some left, then you can have some more.
Yeah.
Plus, Nanny keeps 12 in reserve. It's easy. A tray of them just sitting in the warming, in the oven with the oven off, just sitting there staying warm. And towards the end of the meal, you bring them out, and everybody's like, "There's more."
Red Rain, good evening, Red Rain. I think it's evening over there for you. That's what it is. Isn't it?
That's it. Grumpy is as well. Grumpy's down in my neck of the woods.
Happy, yeah.
You know, there'll be a few people, different people in and out as they come in.
Yeah. You know what I'm like when I see strange names. It's
I'll send the link to Dr. Hong as well. So if she wants to pop in, she'll pop in. You know.
No, they're more than welcome, mate. You know, if they, like you say, if they just want to sit in the back and listen to the language and the accents and that,
that's pretty much.
I'm cool with that. Absolutely.
And cool with that. Anyone I invite on anyway is same as us. You know what I mean? They're quiet. They're not gobby or anything like that. You know what I mean?
I will say, if any more jump in that you know, just let me know who they are if you see them in the chat.
I will do, yeah. It'll only be Dr. Hong now, Dr. Hong and EMZ. Ems,
yeah. No worries, mate. Because you know what we're like, moderators check people out if they see strange names, and if we know who they are straight away, it's just another process.
Yeah.
Do, you know.
Yeah, but you've only got me modding, and I can't be bothered.
Holly's in there. She's just in the background.
She's learning, washing up and getting tea ready.
And I wouldn't be too surprised if Dan's half asleep listening somewhere. He was knackered again today.
Well,
quite busy, yeah.
Yeah, you know. Well, I suppose coming up to Christmas and all of that, it's one of those now that it's.
But he's perking up a bit, and as we said Sunday, it looks like he's lost a little bit of weight as well. You know, his face looked a bit thinner.
Oh, right. Good. You know.
You know, it's all heading in the right direction. There you go. Look, she's still reading the chat. Fucking things making my head itch, man.
I'm just doing a little bit of training at the moment as well, so it's a case of.
The only exercise I get is up and down the bloody stairs. I didn't even get me full exercise Wednesday on the way to the hospital because for some reason I sat here and thought, my appointment's 20 to 12. I got plenty of time, and it turned out it was 20 to 10.
Yeah.
So Heather drove me round there and dropped me off, and then went and done some shopping, and I'd walk back. But I can go in there at any time. You know, the staff know me. I'm on first name terms with them because I used to work there.
Yeah.
And if I could literally just walk in at any time of the day except for a Saturday and say, "Oh, can you fit me in for a blood test?" And they would do it.
The problem you got here is because of the sun, you see, because if you don't get out early or get out late, you can't do anything because the sun will just put you in. We are in the winter period at the moment, so it's not too bad, but it still can get you, you know what I mean?
But this is what, I mean, me and Dan were chatting the other day, because he's just had some results back. Not my place to say what they are. It's nothing nasty, nothing bad.
Yeah.
He'll probably tell us all on Sunday himself. But I always get informed by the nurses and the secretaries and that, because even if I don't need to go in, they'll ring me and tell me that I don't need to go in.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know, or if Dr. Lee says, oh yeah, the levels have gone a bit high, they'll ring me to say, oh, we'll book you in for another venous section.
Yeah.
You know, they don't leave me hanging on. So they're pretty good here like that. And whether they do it with everybody, I don't know. But, you know, I'm on first name terms with everybody bar the consultant herself. And I only call her by her surname out of courtesy. She's got letters in front of her name, you know. So it's Dr. Lee, not Sophie.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, no, my stepsister got bad news the other day. She about 6 months ago, she just found a lump in her breast. Nothing major, nothing big or anything. Just there was just something there. So she went along to the doctors, and they turned around and said, "Yeah, we're gonna operate, and we're gonna take out some lymph glands as well, and to check." And so they did that. She was just getting over that, and they said, "Right, you're gonna have to take this tablet for 5 years, and it's a little radioactive tablet that she's got to take for 5 years." So we thought, okay, that's it, done and dusted, finished. And then they rang her up the other day. They said, "Oh, by the way, you have to come in for radiotherapy, and it's going to start for 8 days, and it'll take her all the way over Christmas and into so I think it's the 26th is when it finishes. Starts on the 15th to the 26th. So that's her Christmas ruined."
Sorry, mate. I'm just answering a message I got earlier on. When I'm doing a live, I usually have Facebook turned off.
All right.
Because it's less of a distraction.
Yeah.
Because I always have Discord open and a couple of other things. But I do get an alert when somebody's sent a personal message.
All right.
And that was my mate that I was on about that just got back in touch today from back home.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I'm hoping eventually.
You're streaming live on Facebook as well, yeah?
You what, mate?
You're streaming live on Facebook as well?
No, I don't stream live to Facebook.
Right.
I put an ad on there that the lives.
Right, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Afternoon, Jason. Joe Biden wandering around the White House naked on amphetamines. Oh dear. But yeah, I'm hoping in time, once I get to know some of the lads a bit better. I mean, one or two of them have openly admitted they don't use a lot of tech.
Yeah.
But my mate Phil, he came on that week.
He did.
You know, some of the stories he come out with about me from the past. I'd like to hear other people coming in and telling, you know, some of the stories and their interactions that I had with them in the past. You know, when I say I used to shoot at my mate with the air rifle across the gardens, you didn't do stuff like that. Well, Phil Schroeder, yeah, bastard used to shoot us in the tin sheds. And he's doing very well. He's got his new prosthetic leg. And they've let him out with it. He's done really well with it. He's up and downstairs and all sorts
brilliant stuff. Yeah, because he was a bit sort of landlocked, wasn't he? He couldn't move anywhere until he got the new leg.
Yeah, the thing was, I mean, Phil, he's gone years with that leg. It's only recently that they've decided to do all this.
Oh, right, okay.
He was, what was he, 15, 16 when he destroyed the leg.
Yeah.
But from the knee down, it was literally just the bone with a bit of skin wrapped around it. That's all it was for the rest of his life up until now.
Right.
You know, so he learned to get round with it, but then it started to get infected or something. So he said, well, you know, do what you wanted to do with it. Just take the bloody thing off.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but he's an hard bastard. He's he's like me. He'll put up with any sorts of shit to get on with his life, and
Yeah,
he'll find a way around doing it. You know, he's a great lad. Always had time for him and his brothers. But even his mother has friended me on Facebook because she remembers me. You know, it's. But yeah, you know, it's like I've always said, it's times from the past like that. It's the old memories that kept me going at times, and they're still all there. It just like half these names that are coming up now, I'd forgotten about. But as soon as I see the name, it's like the memories come back, and oh yeah, I remember going and doing this with them, and it all helps, to be honest, mentally, especially with the way.
Well, it's not exactly. It's good to catch up as well, isn't it? It's good to catch up and remember the good. Yeah. When you look at all the crap that goes on nowadays, it's good to remember the good old days. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lad on there. Someone again. I used to do banger race with him. Funny enough, his dad owned a tyre garage, so we used to go and change all our own tyres. And, yeah, all the part warns that came off, they went on the race cars for the next oval meeting to get the best of them. And we had met up on there, just made a comment on a post, and I asked if it was him. And yeah, and I can't find him again at the moment. But I went through some photographs the other day, and I found an album of his that he gave me from the banger racing days.
Oh, right.
Whether he'd left it in the car or one of the vans at a meeting, I don't know. But I've had this thing for over 40 years, and I'd love to get it back to him if he wants it, you know. I will try and find him. But I've got probably 300 posts to go through to try and find even where I contacted him, because it wasn't on personal messages. It was just a comment on a post.
Gotcha.
But, I will find it. I will find it. But yeah, I'd love to get that back to him, reunite him with it. I remember taking a lot of them, to be honest. But I've lost most of mine over the years, unfortunately. I've got a carrier bag with a big handful in and a couple of small albums, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Very, very few of the drag racing days. A couple of the cars, as you've seen. Some that I raced and the road ones. But I had 3-4 big, thick albums. Right from the days when we used to be up there just watching or helping teams, to the days of actually racing.
Racing itself, yeah, exactly.
And they've all gone missing. I have no idea where they are.
Man, that's a shame.
No, Lee, I don't sing, mate. But what I do every year, and I will do one again this year, I do an alternative Christmas message.
You do a Channel 4, do you? A right-wing Channel 4.
I sit in front of the Christmas tree and I do an alternative message to the nation on behalf of His Majesty, of course.
On behalf of His Majesty.
Just for a bit of fun. Sean, hi. I've got the lurgy, hot bubble bath and a decent meal. Yeah. All right, Sean, you take care, sweetheart. Get a couple of lemon sips down you or something like that.
I'm a bugger though. If I did an alternative message, it'd be about fat fingers. It wouldn't be about, you know, fat fingers message.
You said,
when is it Holly's birthday? I can't remember.
Did you hear that, Holly? She can't remember when your birthday is. And I'm not singing happy birthday on that day either. I can't remember the last time I sung. Monday. Oh, God, when was the last time I ever picked up a mic and sung?
It was hilarious a couple of years ago. Christmas Day, we get the silly games out, and we got one out that involved music and lyrics and the occasional singing. He was on my team, and it was his turn, and it was, you need to sing this song.
Delivery.
And he wouldn't bloody sing it.
It's either delivery or me mate turning up.
Delivery.
Another delivery.
Yeah, Stuart. I had loads of photographs of my father from his army days. A lot of photographs of me as a kid growing up. But unfortunately, they were always kept at my mum's in a big box in the loft. And after she died and changed the will, I was not allowed to retrieve anything from the house. I was not to be given anything from the house. So I lost all them. Not that it ever worried me, because in the years she was alive and I was still living there, right up until the day she died, there was never, ever a photograph of me up in that house anyway. So, but I would have liked to have had them.
Well, we come from the era where it was all on paper, wasn't it? It was all a photograph. It wasn't like the digital.
Nothing,
you know what I mean?
Nothing digital.
No.
I mean, I've got one or two that I had personally. Luckily enough, when was it? It was for me 40th birthday, I think it was. Somebody got in touch with the family. They were put in like a "This Is Your Life" in photographs together for me for my birthday.
Yeah.
And they wanted photographs, funny photographs, or photographs as me as a kid, to embarrass me in this thing, because they were going to present it with me in the pub where everybody could see it.
Yeah.
And I had a few through that, because she did send them some. But you know, there was a lot there that I would have liked, but sadly not. So I've got to go with the ones I've got. I've been to the doctors, given antibiotics, decongestants. All right, Sean. Hope you feel a bit better soon. It's if you're not there Sunday, no need to pop in and make your apologies. If I don't see you in there, I can give them on your behalf, certainly.
Well, there's a bad bout of it going around at the moment, isn't there?
Have you seen the latest about an incident on London just released now? No.
That button should work.
To be honest, I turned it all off, because all that was on was Shane McGowan's funeral.
No, there was someone raped in a park in Cardiff.
No, apparently this is in London. Is it, Grumpy? Moss package report. Oh, another one of them. Yeah, they had one up in Cumbria yesterday. It wasn't a package, it was something suspect, so they shut a load of a village off. Turns out it was nothing. I believe it was somebody who had an old wartime shell or something there, same as what has been reported on mainstream media the other day, so they wanted to check it. Been evacuated. Yeah, they would if there's a suspect package in there, mate. But this is the thing that people miss. Now, Murph will understand this as anybody in here. Now, they keep on about there's a terrorist threat.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the basic main definition of a terrorist, is somebody who makes somebody fear that something's going to happen. Not actually happening, making you fear it's going to happen. And this is what they do. All they got to do is ring up and say, oh, there's a box there. We believe that's a bit of a suspect thing. The police bowl in, evacuate everybody, rope the whole bloody area off, bring in the bomb squad. And what happens to everybody that's there and around them? They're fearful. They're fearful for their lives. That is the biggest part of terrorism. The fear of something happening. And
Psychology of terrorism. It's a psychology of terrorism.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
that is the biggest threat. You think Now, I'm just going to use this example. I'm not saying anybody should plant bombs, set fucking bombs off or whatever. But you think the panic that was spread by the IRA.
Yep.
One bomb in one city, the whole city goes into panic. Same as when they were doing it over here. Not the Libyans, who else was it? There was one mob doing a bit. It took 2 little incidents and there's panic countrywide. That is what terrorism is. You don't actually have to do anything. You only have to make the suggestion that there is. This is the part of it that people don't grasp. You know, to everybody, a terrorist is someone who goes and plants a bomb, or someone who blows himself up or shoots somebody. To them, that's a terrorist. They're not. The real terrorists are the people that are nothing any different to me. Not saying I'm a terrorist, but most of them are sat in front of a keyboard spreading it. They are the terrorists.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I was a sniper in the army, and if the opposition knew there was a sniper around the place, it would terrorise them. They would be absolutely terrorised because they knew there was a sniper there who could take them out from a long distance without them ever getting anywhere near us. You know,
his head's down. Even after he'd buggered off, they were probably still doing it for hours afterwards.
That's what I mean. It's intimidation.
Yes, it is, Jason. It is all planned for the narrative, mate. Now, what I'm just waiting for someone in the government to say is all the WhatsApp messages that are missing, it was the Russians. Oh, they know they've been in there. Oh, it was the Russians. They were the ones that deleted and swiped all them messages. Mama, it could happen, mate. The way this lot are thinking, it could happen.
Well, I mean, they just sent a whole pile of stuff over to Albania today, didn't they? Because and it's all part of this reciprocal sending the Albanians back. The Albanians went, well, what the hell are we providing electric cars for and all of this shit and doing up prisons? Yeah.
Nothing they're doing adds up.
No.
And nothing
Where's the money coming from?
With anything else that they're doing for the bloody work. Yeah. I mean, you look at Ireland now, the way that's turned, that's going to blow right up over there.
I mean, our national debt is around 110% now.
Yeah.
So where are they getting this money from?
It's all borrowed off the Bank of England, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like they want to bankrupt the country.
It's not the government that control the interest rate, it's the Bank of England.
Yep.
Sunak says it's him, but it's not. The Bank of England set that, and he can't do a damn thing about it. He can make suggestions, that's it. And I always said, with the amount of money that the bank at the moment is prepared to lend to this government, what could they foreclose on it? So, but no, we're taking over. You can't pay it back. We're going to take it over. We're going to put you into administration. If they can do it to a council, I'm damn sure they can do it to a government.
Because we don't have any ceiling on ours, whereas America has a ceiling on theirs where it triggers a certain part of principles. We don't have any of that. So to me, it's like they want to bankrupt the country before the next government gets in. Yeah.
I come up with a scenario a while back. In my head, Sunak knows they're going to be out. They're going to get ousted. And I think he's trying to create the biggest mess he can for the incoming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I think that's the plan.
I mean, it's highly improbable, but I would not put it past the clown.
They did it on Gordon Brown's government, didn't they? They left a thing at the Treasury and said, sorry, there's no money left for you, you know?
Yep.
They left the note.
I mean, yeah, they're dropping a lot of this eco. Well, they're not dropping it. Although they're putting all these bloody warnings out today that we're all going to drown when it rains.
That's what the Ken Barrow was built for, you know?
I mean, the Cameron, how can they stand there and say and campaign with the green agenda when all that idiot's done since he's been installed back in any type of doings in Parliament is fly around the world in a fucking jet.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're still pushing it, and you got the head, what's his name, at Cop Out 28, saying, yeah, well, we're never going to be able to give up using fossil fuels. Well, yeah, we know we're never going to be. We've got to learn to use them a bit more careful and, try and make them as effective and as green as possible. But the world will cease if they don't use it. It's they're just not seeing it.
Well, I mean, you need oils to create plastics and things like that. So, I mean, it's most of the stuff we use they use oils.
I mean, they're wearing nylon jackets.
I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you have
the leather items I wear might have looked better on the cow, but not only does it feel comfortable, she fucking tasted nice as well. So it's
exactly
usage.
Yeah.
No, everywhere you look at these groups like this, you can pick things with them like that out straight away. You don't know what you're talking about. And the government have proved they don't listen to the science now, or in Boris's case, doesn't understand it, apparently.
Yeah, I don't understand,
Which I can quite believe, actually, listening to him sometimes. But he's letting himself down now. He knows what's coming. He absolutely knows what's coming. I don't think any of the apologies he's made have been sincere.
Well, they're not.
And sadly, now this might sound strange, I disagreed with what the group that were there did, that were there to represent the victims that have lost loved ones. Now, they stood up and gave that protest in the hearing. Yeah, they had to hold the hearing while they were kicked out.
Yeah.
Now, that to me, they shouldn't have done, because that hearing is there specifically and it's being publicised so everybody can hear and see it. We understand how they feel. Most of us feel the same. But let the thing run its course. Don't interfere with it. Don't interrupt it, because we want to see and hear the whole thing. I'm not saying they were out of order doing it. I can understand why they did it. But those people are being listened to now, and they do have a spokesperson in there to ask the questions.
Yep, and not only that, there's family members going in there to ask questions as well.
Yeah, something like that. I keep saying it's interesting to watch. It's not interesting. It's enlightening, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it absolutely shows that these people behind closed doors are nothing like the facade they show in public.
Oh, yeah.
They can't be trusted. You can see that. I'd see that on the first lot of evidence on the first bloody module. They can't be trusted. They can't be transparent. They won't. They're quite prepared to lie. And they're quite prepared to make threats, from what I can see. Most of them underhanded. But the threats were there in some of them messages.
Well, I mean, if you look at Boris Johnson's school report, he said his class master turned around and said he's incapable of telling the truth. He got fired from the Telegraph for fabricating lies. Yeah, he's had 7 bloody marriages where he's turned around and he's got kids that no one knows the amount of going on, and we elected him as bloody Prime Minister.
There was one paper sacked him because there was too many people complaining about his bullying.
Yeah,
But and then he went on. What was it? Oh yeah, when I was laid in the ward, he said I knew there was people in there that weren't going to leave and stuff like that. And I said, and you still didn't fucking learn anything from it.
Well, I mean, it's the case, and he's turned out to be the most liberal bloody Conservative that has ever been in power in the UK.
Yeah. And I'm going to start this. This is only a theory. Call me a conspiracist if you want. I don't give a shit. But I don't believe any of them assholes had been jabbed.
Oh, like you and me then.
Every walks of life, every profession at the moment in the last 2 to 3 years have had people drop dead of unknown complications.
Yep.
Have you ever seen a politician drop dead?
No. Well, no.
Just a thought. You wait for the shit to start now next week. If I put that out.
Well, no, you would expect if everyone had the jab, you'd expect out of 650, at least one would pop those clogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not denying it might have helped some people. There might be something in it, but as far as I'm concerned, and I've always believed it can be dangerous. It's been proved to be dangerous, and I'm damn glad I didn't take the fucker.
Well, I mean, someone said something the other day.
Jason, exactly. What was it? 20%? They lost 20% of the population through adverse reactions or something like that. I saw that somewhere last week. And I know it was genuine because I put it out in a video and I did check the figures.
And one of the things that was interesting as well, someone said it, and it's only the first time I thought about it, was that we've had the flu every year, and the government would put out an advisory: it's flu, make sure you get your flu jab or whatever, then that'd be the end of it. And we'd lose a certain amount of the population, no problem. But you've never had the government actually step in at this level.
No.
You've never had it step in at this level, and it was worldwide. It was like it was coordinated.
Yeah, if you look through the ONS sites going back, and even the NHS figures say the same, the average loss through the annual flu fluctuates just above or just below the 10,000 mark.
Yeah.
You never hear anything about that. Never heard anything about that for the last 2-3 years.
And then the Office of National Statistics stopped recording. Hello?
And as we know, they can be bamboozled. They will use false information without even knowing, because Khan managed to get it through until someone pointed it out to him.
Yep.
But yes, they do have to run. I believe, I may be wrong, but I'm told they do have to run the figures now by the government before they're allowed to post them. They're not allowed to post them independently.
But,
whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I know they have changed and fudged figures. That's been proved.
What they've done then is just thrown the Freedom of Information Act up against the wall.
Yeah. And you think what it's going to get like now if he actually does get through where he starts dismantling our rights in this country further?
They've been putting laws under the table for the last year and a half doing all of that.
Well, we've always said get rid of the European Court of Human Rights Act.
Yeah.
Because we're out of Brexit, man. That shouldn't fucking apply to us anyway now. You know, that's nothing to do with us. But messing with our own, literally, they could twist that. So all we're left with is our basic human rights.
Oh, yeah. Going back to the Dark Ages.
You won't be allowed to do a thing without permission. And they're going to try and push this through as quick as possible. So it's going to need keeping a very careful eye on, because these are the things they got a habit of doing and talking about when there's only 3 or 4 of them in the bloody house at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Yeah. But it's also a case that I think what they're trying to do is change the legislation now so that they can start imposing these 15-minute cities that you don't hear anything about anymore. You don't hear about the depreciation of electric vehicles now, to the extent that none of the hire companies are taking on any more electric vehicles. They've gone back to ICE, internal combustion vehicles. So, the top 10 vans, top 10 cars, all petrol and diesel.
Yeah. Stuart, yes. But there are now, I mean, would you believe France wants to drop it? and they're going through the process. There is a big backlash now to the EU about the immigration issues, a very big one. And if they don't get it sorted out damn quick, the EU will be gone. It will be broken up because countries
Poland are having a big vote this week, aren't they?
Amazon sounds like they're going.
Yeah.
Poland are going for it this week. Poland are having a big vote on it.
Yeah. I'm just going to shut the window a minute. The cat's come back in there.
Oh, this cough.
What, they say the parcel's been delivered? That's Lego.
Yeah, that's what I said. It sounds like Lego.
Another parcel.
No, Christmas.
The youngest grandson is an absolute Lego freak.
Oh, right.
So what they do each year, birthdays and Christmas, they'll go and buy bulk. You know, they're second-hand Lego bricks, but for a quarter of the price, you can get 8 times as much in the bricks in that. So what they do is they go and buy a load of new bases and stuff like that. And then we've got a big tub that is just full of Lego bricks.
Yeah.
They leave the house for Christmas Day.
They've got a Facebook group. They've got a Facebook group here in Dubai, and it's all British dads, and they've got their own Lego club.
Each to their own, you know. You got the ones that like playing still with their train sets and scale electrics, and you know, it's hobbies, isn't it? But, they're slowly killing village. Yeah, Jason, and in a way, I do believe that's why they're letting these wars and conflicts go on.
Lots of each.
In particular, the way they almost back both sides, or both sides do get backed, because they know there's going to be less population on the planet at the end of it. And now
we had Putin arrive here the other day.
Yeah. Zelensky has apparently applied for American citizenship. He's already bought a big place out there. I did see something about that the other day. Again, unsubstantiated. It didn't come from an official source, but I did see something about that he'd applied for citizenship. We know Sunak's got it. He's got dual nationality, hasn't he?
Yeah, yes, yeah. And Johnson, who's born there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that all seems a bit strange as well, you know.
And most of the French bench have their own passports for their own country.
Lee, that'll be down to him, mate. I don't interfere in them type things. I've learnt my lesson over the years. That's why he's trying to see if we can get Pat paired up with somebody. He can go and pay for his own. He won't mind me saying that.
What?
I mean, you. Some people say the way you two slag each other off on the lives. I said, you want to hear us in fucking private? But yeah, I don't think the weather's been helping him either. The cold and the damp, although he says it doesn't, but it does affect me. So I know it does affect him in a way. And I call it hibernation season, because when you're in the physical state that me and him are, him more so than me, I call it hibernation season, because that's all you feel like you want to do. You feel that's all you've got the energy to do, you know? Yeah, we came in town. Yeah, exactly, Ollie.
Yeah, okay.
Even Ollie gets involved in something fucking hilarious. Oh, I swear if it wasn't just digital, we'd be bitch slapping each other. I resist. Yeah, third world dumping ground, exactly. That's more or less what we've become, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, if there is any terrorist action around Christmas and things like that, it'll be a case of we will be looking very closely to see who they are, where they came from, are they British nationals, are they this, are they that, and there'll be merry hell to pay if there's not.
Well, they've got to realise that we're full. Yes, the country as a size could probably handle more. But what we haven't got is the infrastructure, the money, the housing, the jobs, the food to feed them all and keep ourselves safe. And they just don't seem to see that.
Even before any of this happened, I remember back when my kids were young, and they were taking the big old houses in Richmond and converting them into apartments. So it really became a problem trying to get your kid into the right school. Yeah. And you very rarely got your first choice. You know what I mean? That's back in the 80s, for God's sake. Oh, 90s, sorry, 90s.
I mean, now as well, the government have introduced this thing where they're relaxing planning that if you've got a two-story house, that you want to split it into 2 flats. There's very little red tape to do it. You can do more or less what you want inside as long as the outside stays looking the same. So effectively, you could double the amount of accommodation, but by the numbers of 2-story houses in this country, if people wanted to.
Yep.
They're clutching at straws. They are clutching at straws.
And the thing is, I mean, the young people nowadays are not having kids anymore. So it's it's only a matter of time before we are the minority.
Jason is already plunged into a violent conflict all over Europe, mate. I mean, literally the hassles and the protests and the riots we've been getting here are a piss in the ocean to what's been going on over there. It just hasn't been publicised. The only one that was being put out on a regular basis was obviously the French. But Germany's had a lot of violent riots. Sweden has, Italy has in particular.
Germany's deporting at the moment. Germany started deporting.
Yep. Sweden is kicking a load out. They've had a hell of a problem there. Italy in particular, but their immigrants aren't coming over land. They're coming across the Med from Africa. And not just in boats like we get. They're coming thousands a day in big boats. So, they probably see us as a small island that's, we're not getting that. Well, it doesn't matter. It's still affecting us. We're not. Ireland's overrun. I just don't know why they're allowing it. I really don't. Well, it's the WEF. It's the world order shit. Anyway, I'll let you guys all miss your WA.
And Starmer.
Starmer's as bad. Yeah, Starmer's WEF as well.
Starmer's probably already planning World War fucking 5.
It's
the thing is,
in place that says we can't ship them out.
Have you been pulling lights off that tree?
Well, the key thing is, I mean, Germany deported 2,000 people the other day, and they didn't give a damn about the human ECHR. They didn't care.
I said to Roger the other day, you've got to start using the Spock principle. It's the needs of the many, not the needs of the few. Yes, we all have individual rights, but when you're a rapist or a murderer, your rights are nowhere near as big as the rights of the public that you have to protect.
Your rights
I think you should lose them.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You can't. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
But the key thing is you've got a court system that's been abused here by NGOs and everything else, and it's happening, and they're actually active, like Care for Calais. They're active out on the beaches in France as well.
Yeah, we won. Good evening. Yeah, again, Jason. They keep pointing out the fact, well, we're removing them from the hotels. But yeah, you are. But you're not removing them from the fucking country, and you're putting them in these camps. In some cases, they're just moving them to another hotel.
The last time we put them in camps, they burnt the bloody thing down.
I mean, they didn't even get to the one in Wales, and that was destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scampton is, and the council they told them to stop doing the building work there, and they carried on against planning. Hello, Beardy. Yes, mate. I did have me Christmas hat on as well, but it makes my freaking head itch. Good evening to you. Yeah, the Pontins camps. Well, to be honest, if you look at some of the Pontins camps now, they're not fit for any sort of habitation.
They're not. That's very true.
But they are using some.
Well, what Socko did with Pontins in the group, they said, look, well, let us put our people here. Once we move them out, we will do up the whole camp for you.
Yep. We weren't exactly. Now, I've been trying to look into this, and there's no information on how many that they're actually passing for the SIA. But apparently, there are security companies in the country that are licensed to put them through the test. What they reckon is they'll just signing them, giving them badges, and chucking them on the gate. If you look at there are two different ones they usually get. One is a supervisor's badge, which means they can step out of the area where they're working, public facing. The others can't. Just the normal SIA can't. But there are more, and they're also now not just at the hotels and that, they are creeping into other areas of security as well as people are taking them on. Now, as far as I know, now this is the bit that gets me that I don't quite understand. Now, when these people come in, at some point they're given the right to work. Now, and this has been proved, they can earn a wage once they've been approved. They can only work for a company that is sponsoring them. The company has to guarantee the work, basically. Now, are these the companies that are running these security? They're going in, saying, right, yeah, come to us, we'll give you a badge, we'll put you to work. Because there was one that did an interview. He's working full-time for a charity, paid full-time wages, but he's still living in the hotel, getting everything paid for him in the hotel. He's working full-time with a full-time wage in his pocket, and he's still getting the same as those that aren't.
But I mean, also, if you're coming into the UK from a foreign country through the legal way, you actually have to do what's called IELTS, which is the English. You know, you've got to understand basic English. You've got to be able to read it, write it, and do everything else like that. Now, none of these fuckers have had it.
Moo's just put there about the national insurance number. Before they get full entitlement, they get a temporary number,
Isn't it? Yeah.
which is totally different to all the numbers that everybody else gets. There's different codes on it. There's not as many numbers, letters, and shit. And they can't work anywhere else without authorization. The government, if they want to change a job, they have to get it authorized before they can do that. They can't background and check them. All they can do is take what the government says, resist, unfortunately.
They just threw the passports away, didn't they? How can you check anyone?
This is why they've all chucked their ID before they land, and
yeah.
You know, half of them don't come from where they said they are. You know, you've got adults that have been caught in schools, passing off with school kids. There's no security. The borders, they say they've closed the borders to it, but the borders are wide open. Absolutely. With 17,000 of them reported missing in this country. Somebody's got to know where they're going. Posters from migrant getting benefit. Yeah, and there was that one the other day spreading all his money around in his hotel room. You know, they taking the piss. They're openly rubbing our faces in it.
Well, I've seen a few of the auditing channels.
Like it, Mo. Like it. Sorry,
I've
guys.
seen a few of the auditing channels, and you see them driving in. They've got better bloody cars than most people have in the UK. Yeah,
Yeah,
and they get those so quickly.
Albanians.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know where this is going to end. I really don't. It's not going to end well for us.
No, it isn't going to end well. No.
Say that. Like I said, when did I say on Dan's channel last week? We are the majority in this country, but there's only a minority of that majority that will stand up and shout. Until the whole majority stands up together, fuck all will get achieved. I've said it before, the protest in London did nothing because the government were blind to it. They ignored it. They didn't care. They just left the police to get on with it. That's why the mainstream media weren't putting any news out about them. Because they did, as far as they're concerned, they didn't happen.
Well, this is why, you know, if you look at Khan and London and you look at knife crime in London, you look, you know, there was someone shot the other day and they turned around, a 42-year-old woman was shot and she was shot by a 16-year-old. Where do you get the gun from?
Exactly. Yes, Stuart. We'll be the ones ended up living in the camps and they'll be the ones in the houses. Exactly, mate. And that could happen. That is a realistic scenario at the moment, the way things are.
It's going to end up like South Africa, isn't it? Where the indigenous population end up in secure private estates.
Well, the other thing is what they're not thinking about. Now, they're doing everything to help them, to help them. Now, if they do take over, the government will think, yeah, we've given them everything. We can control them. But as I've said before, they've turned on their own people before. If you're in power, all they're going to try and do is turn this country into the same shithole they've just come from. Yep. And the first thing they'll do is take the government down.
You've got it in Ireland, haven't you? You've got people being financed, and they've arrived in the country 45 years ago, and they're already standing as local councillor, local mayor.
Oh,
they're not allowed to stand in the national.
Fucking mayor wants to run his area, his catchment, on fucking Shara law.
I know, yeah.
It's Irish to live under Shara law. I'm like, dude. You know, apparently it's already a hate crime by law in Ireland now to say Ireland for the Irish.
I know, yeah.
It's
yeah, but I mean, you know, that guy that blew up the ULEZ camera the other day, and police initially reported it as a terrorist incident. You know, it's just the stupidity of it all. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, they keep saying that these people have come from terror and wars and what have you.
How do you know? They've got no idea.
Where have we got to go if it happens here? The shitholes they've just come from. That's the only things left for us.
But my point, when we talk, we've got idea. When we talk, they go, "We're not listening to you." These guys come in, they talk, and they go, "Well, yeah, we haven't got any idea on you, but we'll believe what you say."
Yeah.
You know?
No, I knew something like this was coming. I've said it for many years, but I never ever thought I'd see anything like it in my lifetime.
Unfortunately, it's going to have to get a lot worse.
Yeah,
it's going to have to get a lot worse. They've got to impact on the Liberals, which they won't at the moment. They're behaving themselves. They're not impacting on the Liberals, but they will impact on the Liberals. And once they start impacting on the Liberals, then you'll see them change.
Yeah, I mean the police. Yeah, we can handle this, we can handle that. I'll tell you what, if that lot turned on the police as a mob, they'd be fucked. Well, if the English turned on them as a mob, they'd be fucked because they'd just totally be outnumbered. Don't matter what weapons they've got, what bloody batons and shit. they'd take them down, and they won't be protected. They'll be running shit scared the same as everybody else. Same as who was it come out with the other day? The Met. It's like an old boys club now. If you're not a Muslim or whatever, you don't get in.
Yeah, I know. Well, the RAF, didn't you? The RAF was saying we're not white. Well, we're too white. What?
Yeah. Yes, resist. I've heard that from many people from Europe, that they just look at England and laugh at us now.
Yeah.
I've heard that for quite a while from them. And unfortunately, a lot of Americans look at it that way as well over here. They can, everybody else can see what's happening, even our own people, other than the fucking idiots running the country.
Americans can't figure out how we haven't. Well, we can't carry guns. That's what the Americans think. They think you'd solve the problem quickly if you had guns.
Yeah. Yes, that Beardy, they did. And they openly said if it kicks off, we're screwed. And that's why they didn't go after these ones the other week. They went for the smaller groups rather than the problem. That is the problem, resist. He's turning into a right little dictator. He's not asking what the people want anymore. He's telling them what they're going to have. And that is not the way to run a fucking country as far as I'm concerned. That's democracy gone straight out the window. Not that we've had any for a while. But yeah, I said before, he's turning into a dictator. It's his way or nothing. And at some point, it's going to snap. Yes, no matter who's in charge, absolutely, I believe with everything that's happened over the last 3 years, Labour would have probably been worse, but we would still be in the same sort of shit we are now. Yeah, and it is down to the WEF. I mean, they've dropped the WHO now. Thank God they dropped that treaty. That was just ridiculous, trying to take the sovereignty away. But the WEF is still a very realistic threat. And
right,
I think
the majority are subscribed. The majority are subscribed to the WEF. They believe in what Schwab is saying.
How do you think Khan's getting away with what he's doing?
Yeah, well, he's the head of one. He's the head of one of their committees, isn't he?
Yes, the C40 committee on the 15-minute cities.
15-minute cities. He's the head of the committee.
Mayors of all the people that are interested or are doing 15-minute cities around the world have got together and formed this committee, and he is actually the head of the committee.
Yeah.
So they're being funded by the WEF.
And they reckon that in Oxford now, they reckon that they've suffered the largest fall in prices in houses simply because of that 15-minute thing that they put in.
Yep, exactly. Has he been told to destroy London? Because effectively that's what he's doing. He keeps saying, everybody's saying, oh yeah, he wants his own people in there. There's as many of them leaving London as anybody else because they can't afford to live there.
Yep.
Even they're fed up with him. That's why he's driving around now with a bulletproof, bomb-proof fucking Range Rover with fucking armed police escort everywhere he goes. Because he won't go out in public on his own. He's too fucking shit scared.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly, Jason. It is like an old Bond movie with the supervillains. And as someone posts all the time on Facebook, the one of Schwab in his fucking plastic thing, and he even looks like one. Like,
yeah. All he needs is the cat, He just needs the cat.
But yeah, I mean, not so much Gates and that. I think they're just money. They're the ones that are actually putting a lot of the funding in. But Big Pharma are fucking up. They've had to admit a lot of stuff now. Good evening, Paul. Welcome, buddy. Hope you're well. Yeah, there's a lot. I try to look into as much as I can. But if I spend too much time on one, I stop working on another, if you know what I mean. And I'm trying to keep, I do the odd special video where I found something out, and I've got to put that out there. I found stuff out I can't put out there. It just wouldn't be allowed. But mainstream media and the government are putting that stuff out. I'd get pulled down for it. It's, again, that doesn't make sense. Why are they allowed to put it on social media platforms, but I'm not? Have they got different rights to me?
Well, I can't even do a live now. I mean, YouTube won't even put my lives up.
Yeah, you are in a bit of a different boat over there, aren't you? Because you got bigger censorship your end.
Well, no. Technically, I'm registered in London.
Do you do it through StreamYard?
I do it live to YouTube, but my YouTube account is registered in London.
Unless they're going on where you are in the world, you're.
I think they might be geographical, but again, I'm running this on a VPN. Technically, I'm in Luxembourg now.
Well, they've done the geo banning before. Tyrant Finder had it. He put up several streams that could be seen around the world, but they were banned in England. Yeah, they were made in England for the English, but they geo-banned him from having them shown in England. And I've come across this several times with the geo-banning.
At the moment, they're not letting me put up anything.
Yeah, mainly it's the ones that were talking about the Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that. They're the ones that they targeted on that. The other big one that they did it with was the Canadian truckers protest.
Yeah, I know that. They hit hard on that. Yeah.
Because I was putting out not daily reports on it, but through the week I was, put out a couple of items a week on it, simply because I was in touch with some of the guys actually in the protest. And they were saying, look, we're really struggling getting people to be able to get this stuff out. We're being that heavily censored. And I said, well, you send me the info. I said, if I don't use any of your videos, I just talk about it, I can get through that censorship.
Yeah.
And then I can put links up to the videos that are out there. So that's what I did. And, one or two of them still keep in touch now. Because they're still going through a load of shit at the moment. They're still being heavily oppressed. And most of them that had their bank accounts wiped, still haven't got the money back, haven't got their trucks back or nothing. They've been living on benefits ever since, because the government won't give them their gear back and their money.
Well, I saw a stream today between in Canadian Parliament, and they are just killing each other in there every day.
Yeah,
and Trudeau just keeps going on with the green agenda.
Trudeau can't go anywhere without getting mocked.
Yeah.
They've had to shut down the House several times because of the arguing in there.
Yeah, I know.
But that's a modern parliament. Our lot do it behind closed doors. We've seen that in their messages and their emails. So be realistic, be a human being, be like everybody else. Stand in the house and swear at each other if you've got to.
Well, that's what it used to be. That's exactly what it used to be for a long time.
Well, back in times, years gone by, they'd be throwing spears and firing arrows at each other across the benches.
Yeah. If you lost the argument, you were hung, drawn, and quartered.
How'd you leave Parliament? Oh, through Traitor's Gate, mate. Straight to the tower. And I still believe this is why they changed the laws on the treason laws a couple of years back. I think they foresaw all these investigations and that. There's going to be some form of legal investigations afterwards. They can't bypass it. There's so much there.
Well, it depends if they whitewash it.
Yes,
if they whitewash it,
somebody will bring a case somewhere. You probably against Hancock and Boris for the financial shit around the PPE and that more than anything. But I think there will be implications. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's history repeating itself, but
I mean, we've got definitive proof that Moyne turned round and did exactly what she did and earned money, and when denied it, then I said yes I did, and then took money, and when I didn't know I did, I didn't. Oh yeah, I did.
Moan, Baroness.
Yeah, I call her Moyne. Yeah. But
Yeah,
why has
but
there been an extradition on her?
That was through her husband and one of the partners in another business. The money went through 3 or 4 businesses. It was a lot more than 10 million.
Yeah, but she got 29.
Yeah, she got around 9 to 10 million. Her husband,
29 it was, wasn't it? 29?
No. Her husband got a big portion. That's where a lot of it went. And also one of the other business partners, apparently. It was being passed and moved around between different companies. And literally, I presume they were trying to hide where it was going to end up.
Yeah.
But then when she got caught out, the investigators looked into it and they following the paper trail back.
Yeah.
So it was a big investigation. It was all released in public. It was public knowledge. And that was basically when she went into hiding with her new boat.
Yeah, I know. Paid for by us.
Yeah. And to be honest, at her age, it looks like she spent a lot of it on plastic surgery as well. I shouldn't say that. That's nasty. Sorry, I've just been missing out on the chat. Elon made me laugh at truckers while pushing driverless trucks. Yeah. Oh, fair play for him for telling the advertisers to fuck off on X, in it now. X,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't like it, piss off then. You don't blackmail me. And you think of Twitter as a plaything to him. It's just something he can go in and kick up a bit of a fuss and have a giggle with, I think. Yeah, he treats it like a big YouTube channel. I mean, was it on YouTube? No, it might have been on Facebook where I saw a verified page of his or something, and he was having a right laugh with people in there. Next year, loads of elections. Yes, there is. We've already seen the ones that have happened lately. I don't think one of them will last. I think it was the Argentinian one where he went in and went absolutely mental on everything. But yes, Stuart, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. And if you're happy, you'll be arrested for smiling, I expect. I mean, everybody keeps saying what they're going to tax us on next, the air we breathe. Well, they already are. What do you think these green and eco taxes are? The taxes on the air you're breathing. I've heard that banded round a lot. And I'm like, yeah, they already are. And they're on about the water again now. Thames Water is almost on the brink of going bankrupt. So they're begging for government money or our money to repair all their systems that they haven't upkept over God knows how many years.
Well, that's because they've been giving all the money in dividends.
Well, catch the fucking water, you idiots, and then there'll be no shortages.
They reckon we need 6 more reservoirs, isn't it, to take the water for the amount of people that are in there now?
Well, if they patched up and repaired the bastards they got, it would help.
That'd be a start.
I mean, if they wanted to go the whole hog, you could literally build one that would feed the whole country, and it wouldn't take too much doing.
It's true. It's not that big a country.
Do you know where it is? Think about what was the biggest lake in this country after
Wyndham?
No, that's a piss in the ocean, mate. The whole of the Oxfordshire Basin, including Berkshire and Somerhampshire, the Berkshire Downs, the South Downs, The Wiltshire Downs and all the other downs created a giant lake, and it only emptied when Goring Gap opened up. That is probably it's thousands and thousands of acres, but it was a giant lake. That whole area was underwater.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So basically, just dam up the Goring Gap.
Yeah. Well, that because the Thames flows through it, and that's where most of the water escaped after the Ice Age and whatever through there. Yeah, see? Boy's old bird here used to do his history at school, not like the kids.
Yeah.
Well, we had a field trip. I always remember it. We actually went up the M40 literally just after it had been built. And halfway up, the M40, it got cut through a hill, a big hill. There's a big famous concrete bridge across the top of it.
Yeah.
But what it did show at the time, because there was no foliage grown on it or anything like that, it showed the layers of the rock, and
Oh, right. Yeah.
And they were saying this is the part that wore away from the Ice Age. If you look up there, if you imagine that another 50 meters taller, that was the height of the ring of the hills round the base, and you could see watermarks on some of it. That's where that one got soaked and rotted at that level through such and such age, and things like that. I always remember from school.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Long time ago. Hutch, good afternoon, buddy. What are you saying? Who have you been talking to in there? What are you saying about me?
Missy put she was a bit cheeky to Roger. Hope I hadn't offended him.
Oh, I don't
And
take offence to nothing,
hadn't
mate.
even noticed.
You come at me with a sausage from behind, I might take a bit of offence to it.
They know we're sweetie.
I'm pretty thick-skinned. There ain't many insults I haven't heard over the years. Well, what did the Missy actually? I'll fly my flag in my country. You're right. Yes, Missy.
W, thank you. I appreciate your company. I was a bit cheeky to Roger, and I hadn't offended him. You hadn't even bloody noticed.
Sausages in bacon. There's no way a bacon to get my sausage. I worry about the doctor when he's having a ferret around down there, because if that bastard's ever got both hands on my shoulder and I can still feel him probing, he's in for a smack. How are we doing? Bloody hell, it's 10 to 6 already.
Nearly.
We're going to have a treat tonight, I think, aren't we?
Apparently.
Well, did you want to?
Can do.
We're actually going to have a takeaway. Well,
very nice.
We haven't had one for a while. We don't do it regular. We never have done. But I've said we've had a nice day today. We're having a brilliant stream here. So we're going to have a takeaway curry tonight.
Curry?
Well, I don't have the curry. I have sheikh kebabs, main course sheikh kebabs.
Oh, right.
I do eat curry, but I went off the hot ones years ago. I only ate them for status after we left the pub after a few beers.
What did I decide I was going to have?
I've no idea what you're having.
I think I'm
well, I mean, all you can get out here is sheikh kebabs, so we're fed up with them, you know.
No, I like sheikh kebabs.
I'm going to have a
That's my main one off the menu. I'll either have the sheikh kebab, the korma, or there's another one that's similar to a korma that they do with bananas as well.
All right.
Oh no, that's pineapple.
Yeah. I used to do all the hot ones. I even tried a Bangalore fowl one night. That was a one-off, never
Oh.
to be fucking repeated.
Yeah.
Because it's not a sauce, it's a paste.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one did hurt, but it was one of them nights after the pub, go, let's go and have a curry. Everybody orders something different and put it in the middle of the table. Right, you fuckers, try some of that.
Yeah. I mean, a fowl is just basically pure chili paste. You know what I mean? It's
I mean, the chef. I mean, I know the guy that owned it. He was a regular in the pub. The owner, Slimy Salim, we used to call him. But he had some good top chefs in there. Indian chefs, and they never put fowl on the menu for obvious reasons. They used to do a mild version, or milder. But the full fowl he would only give to regulars who he knew have had it before. Well, he didn't know I hadn't had it in there before, but he took me at my word and he ordered it.
Yeah.
I think there was about 13, 14 lads in there, and I can remember at least 3 of them throwing up after tasting it. What the fuck? Who ordered that? And I'm just sat there pissing myself laughing with a korma like.
Remember taking my wife, we'd come over from Ireland. I remember taking my wife to a curry house one night, and I said, "Look, I'll order you a korma, and I'll just have my usual address, And she, all right, she said, because it's your first time in a curry house, and she went, okay. She was eating the korma, and she went, "Is this okay? Can I try yours?" And she went, "Oh yeah, I like yours." And boom, she took the madras, and I ended up with a korma. And then the next time she went in, she went, "What's hotter than a madras?" I said, "Well, then you're into the fowls, And I said, "You can't go down that road, She said, "No, I want to try a fowl." And after that, she just used to have a fowl every bloody time. She loved it.
It gets to a level where it's not pleasurable, and exotic. Well, I still class curry as an exotic food, although it is basically designed in England. I still class a good curry as an exotic food. Same as I do a Chinese, and I eat those to enjoy the food.
Yep.
Normally, I eat for sustenance. I ain't worried what it looks like as long as it tastes right. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And the hot stuff is not enjoyable.
What's interesting is that most of the curry houses in the UK are run by Bangladeshi. They've got Bangladeshi chefs doing the curry, so you can't. It's virtually impossible to get an English curry over here. So if you order a chicken dupiaza, the chicken comes bone in, so you get pieces of chicken with the bone in there. You don't get boneless chicken, and it's very rare that you can actually. And it's a completely different flavour. It's completely different. So it's very hard to get an Indian curry
here. Yeah, it's. I mean, they always say. I mean, the Balti. That was obviously done over here.
Well, that was Birmingham, wasn't it? Yeah, that's Birmingham.
Yeah, and there was the other one that came from Bradford. There was another dish from up there.
Chicken tikka was Glasgow.
Yeah.
Where they poured the tomato soup over it as a sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they put that red colouring in now that they reckon can be cancerous or something. What?
See Missy's comment on the screen to me. She's going to send me some details to you. Can you pass them on?
Yeah.
So that we can get in touch outside of YouTube.
Yeah. Send them on PM on Facebook, Missy.
Oh, is she on Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. Add me on Facebook, love. We can message through there. Send me a request.
See, I never used to do Facebook. It was only when my mate was here one night and they were both on Facebook. And you got to get it. And I just give them my phone and said, "Well, go on then, set me up with it." And then Heather set me up on the computer with it. It's a lot of these people. Oh, this is what I had for dinner tonight, and this is what I had for breakfast as well. I can't be fucking bothered with that. It's there for me to keep in touch with people I know, watch maybe interesting videos. Yes, I used to get a load of memes off there for my videos. Before I learned how to use a lot of the tech, Heather used to find them for me. She'd WhatsApp them over or email. I've got them on the computer to use. But obviously now I find my own, but now I've got the capabilities to create my own as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is another trick I only learned a couple of months back, or a month back. Just learning more
Every
what
day's
was
learning, mate. Yeah.
yeah, I just messed around one afternoon. I had nothing to do, and I thought, right, I'll go into the editor, I'll put some pictures in there, and just see what I can use with that and the paint shop thing that I've got, whatever it's called, and see what I can manipulate. And Heather, one or two things I weren't sure about, so Heather said, no, this is how you do that, this is how you save that, and put it on top of another picture. And yeah, I started putting a few of my own together.
Yeah.
And it's great because I don't have to use someone else's work now every time on a thumbnail, which I used to tend to do.
Yeah.
You know, what I put on there now is I'd like to be able to put a message in the thumbnail as well as the title, as it were. Whereas if you use somebody else's work, you can't.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, it's and the same with putting the pictures and things like that in the videos. I'm doing a little bit more of that again, rather than just me sat there looking at the camera.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that little bit. I don't know, just jazzes it up a little bit. You know, make the channel a bit more not exciting, but not so boring, shall I say? Rather than just a man with a camera. You know.
You're coming on leaps and bounds at the moment. You've got some good stuff coming out. But prior to, with the thumbnails to start with, and then the memes, and then the story of the day. Then
Yeah, I mean the biggest jump that I like was the fact that now Heather's more involved in the lives. You know, she's as much a part of these lives now as I am, and that is something I always wanted. I wanted her to be involved. You know.
Well, one of the things that YouTube say to you is that you've got to create an identity. You've got to create something that is different from everyone else and different from the norm and everything like that. And you've captured that brilliantly.
Yeah, I just said to Heather this afternoon, there's channels that started up after me doing a similar sort of thing. They've got way bigger than me. Fine, they're doing something a bit different to I am. People like their personality a bit more. But I always said, and I keep saying right at the beginning, I was always going to be happy. My target was a 500 sub channel, and I've got that. So I'm happy. I've reached my goal of what I wanted on here. Anything else now is a bonus, And the other channels, they're starting to admit now that they can't read all the comments. They can't reply to all the comments because they're just getting too many. And everybody knows the only time I don't reply to a comment is because I can't see it.
Yeah.
It's that's it. I run, as you know, I run zero tolerance. We've got a good little bunch in here. The numbers are very steady and regular every week. I don't overdo it. I'm not doing a live every other night or every night or anything like that. It's just as I always bill it. It's an end of the week catch up between friends. Talk about the videos I put out. Talk about how their week's gone, how they're going to do their weekend. And you don't need any dramas. You know what I mean?
No.
There are some very, very comical people in here, and you can see it in the chat sometimes, which is great. And it's also nice to be able to ignore the chat at times because they're quite happy chatting amongst themselves as well.
Exactly. There is a group conversation that goes on. Yeah, I've spotted that myself. It's they're in the arse as much as we are.
Yeah. There are people I know that just like to sit in the background and listen. That's absolutely fine. Welcome to you guys. As I said before, I do it on other channels. I don't interact on there, but I'll go and sit in the background and watch and listen. Bit of sweet. Hello. Yes, I'm absolutely fine. Hopefully no more treatment till after Christmas. I haven't had to have any for the last month or so, so it all depends on this latest blood test. But I think the fat levels in the red blood cells, she wanted them down below 5.2, and at the last test they were actually 4.9. So whether they've crept up a bit this time, but as long as it stays below that figure, the treatment's working, so I don't have to have it so often, which is nice. Bishop Matt, good afternoon, or good evening now, isn't it? 6 o'clock, all bar a minute. Yeah, I know there's people sitting in the background, Matt. I mean, it doesn't worry me. I know there's probably one or two that drop in and go back and talk about me on the other channels, but I'll be honest, I haven't heard of anybody doing it. I don't bother anybody else, and they don't bother me. You know? Yeah. It's getting where I wanted it, Jason. Absolutely. You know, it's a good little community. Yeah, the community is part of a wider community, obviously, because a lot of people in here come from Dan. And why a lot of people that come in Dan's don't come on in here. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't worry me. I wouldn't say it's the best wee one. There are far better out there, but it's just nice to keep that peaceful level. You know,
it's a nice group.
Yeah, a good bunch of regulars.
Yeah, it is actually. It's a very good group. Very good group.
It's a good group. We get on well. I can interrupt without having my head snapped at, you know.
Most of the time. And you know, and again, it's nice. I mean, I see other channels where you've got co-presenters, two people are on there, this, that, and the other, but it just seems different when it's your partner, as it were. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, there is one brilliant couple. I know a lot of it's staged. But they make me laugh, and the way they work together is Martin and Bex. I don't know whether anybody's watched them. It's the couple that play the pranks on each other, that do the faces with filters and funny voices. They're absolutely hilarious. They're on YouTube and Facebook. Those there work brilliant. They've even got the kids involved in it. They're very, very popular. They've got a hell of a lot of followings. But yeah, those two, I've never seen a couple interact like they do. I mean, you know, they've done things like put dye in hair gel and fucking all sorts. He had a meeting the other morning and she hung his suit out on the washing line and froze it. But it's the way the filters work as well. They're very funny filters that they use all the time.
Yeah.
And,
I'll have to have a look at them. I haven't seen them around. I saw the lad baby couple.
BEX, her name is spelt, but they are so funny, mate. And in a way, it's very similar to me and her at home.
Yeah.
You know, we don't play pranks on each other, but we're always taking the piss out of each other.
But I can make you jump.
Oh, yeah, you do make me jump. Nothing like that before anybody starts. Dan isn't in here. We're keeping it clean. I haven't started, and it's blown. But I'm one of these now. If I don't hear somebody coming or something happens unexpectedly, I do tend to jump. And she catches me at it all the time. She'll creep up behind me. I'm so used to hearing her coming. I mean, I sat here one night. I was concentrating that hard on what I was watching. I didn't even see her coming up behind me.
Yeah.
I've been across the kitchen. I've been on the floor.
bends over to feed the cat, I have to goose him.
Yeah, nothing worse than being goosed when you're trying to feed a cat. Is there? Yeah, cat. You're not bothered, are you? Yeah. Yeah, she's not very well. I think she's got a stomach problem. We've got to get her to the vets next week at some point. She hasn't been herself, so, but she is getting on as well, so that's a bit of a worry.
Right, yeah.
I don't want to take her because I might not be bringing her back.
If you don't bring her back, that's the exact reason I won't be coming with you. You know what I'm like with her.
Yeah, make me cry in the car park on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're harder to that sort of thing than I am.
Come off.
Yeah.
I was worse than Donna when we took Mitzi to be put down.
It's a fact of life. If you're a pet owner, you've got to face the fact that 9 times out of 10 you're going to outlive your pet. Doesn't matter how close you get to them. It gets to a point where, it's beyond repair, as it were, and let them go peaceably before they get in pain. And I am hardened up to it in a way because we used to have to do it on the farm regular, obviously.
Yeah, same with me. I grew up on that sort of thing.
Not just mercy, but food as well, obviously. But it's always different when it's a loved pet.
Lee, she does go out and eat grass and then comes in here and throws up all over the carpet.
Oh, nice little fur ball.
Oh no, she doesn't overeat as a rule, but sometimes she'll just go fucking mental. Yeah. And then she won't eat for a couple of days, and that's what makes me think she's got a stomach issue as well, because she'll do that, suffer for a couple of days, she'll go out there, she'll eat a load of grass, she'll throw the fucking lot up all over the carpet, then she'll go and have a dump in her tray, and then it's like, okay, I'm ready for some more food now. Yeah. And of course, because she does it in the garden, all the rest of the local cats think it's great. It's a public cat toilet, like.
Yeah.
But she's that old. I mean, she doesn't go out of the garden. She can't even get up onto the fence, let alone get over.
And how old is she now?
16.
16, is it?
16.
16.
16. Oh, she's a good old age, yeah.
Oh yeah, she's an old one. I mean, she loves to drink from the tap upstairs in the bathroom because it's cold running water, and they love that.
Yeah.
She used to jump up onto the end of the bath and just sit there waiting for you to put the tap on and put the plug in. Then it got to the stage where she was trying to get up, and then when she did get up, she slid into the bath and couldn't get up.
All panic as
now, whenever I go to the loo, she goes and sits at the end of the bath and just looks at the end, so I have to lift her on and turn the bloody tap on for her. It's, don't you? Need your claws clipped as well. Yeah, it's ripping my legs apart. And it's the same at night. I'll lay in bed. I go up quite early, as you know, because of the fatigue usually. When I need to sleep, I go and sleep. I might be up early, but I've had to sleep my body once. She'll always come up with me. She won't stay down here with Heather. She always follows me up. In fact, she tells me at 9 o'clock. If you watch her on Paps Live on a Sunday, between 9 and 10, she'll be down on the floor here giving it wow, wow. And then she knows I'm not going to bed because I'm not moving.
Yeah.
She'll go and lay down again. But she'll follow me up to bed. I'll lay there watching telly, just relaxing until I fall asleep. If I leave it on, it don't matter because I know Heather will be up in a few hours anyway, and she'll turn.
Yeah.
But the cat will lay with her top half across my thigh because she knows for my arm to be comfortable, I've got to put it down by my side, which means it goes round her.
Yeah.
And she'll fall asleep like that.
Yeah.
But as soon as I fall asleep, she'll get up and go and get into a little bed under the bed. But she won't do that while I'm awake.
Oh, right, I'm with you. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's.
And then she climbs up your side of the bed, stomps all over you to get to lie on me when she gets up. She don't care where she stands. Woke him up more than once.
Oh, she'll jump up on the bed, and it's like, yeah, I can feel the two front legs going across, trying to get to her. And then all of a sudden you get whoomp, whoomp from the back one, straight in your nuts. And the amount of nights I've shot out of bed when she's done that, especially if we have the thin quilt on and I haven't cut her claws, because they go straight through.
Yeah, I know. I only ever had one cat. With lots of cats on the farm in Ireland. My grandmother had something like 30 odd cats. And that's probably what put me off them, because I just thought, these are too many cats. You know what I mean?
Well, I always had dogs. I was
always a dog man. Always a dog man. But someone knocked on the door one night and gave me this kitten. And I went, well, what am I going to do with this? And so, come on, in you come. And started feeding it, looking after it and everything. And it turned out to be a great character, because it got on with it, acted like a dog.
Yeah.
But it go and knock on the, go and be out at the door at night, let me out, and off we go, and be out all night long, and come back in again in the morning and bring a mouse to the door or a rat to the door for you as a present.
Well,
you know,
my first one, I didn't get a cat until I moved to Newquay, till I moved to Cornwall, and literally it was a bloke walked down the harbour wall one night to what we call the fly cellars. It's a big concrete area that we used to fish from safely, and he had a sack with him, a bag. And just as a joke, I said, "Oh, it ain't kittens, is it, mate? You're not fucking throwing them in." And he said, "Well, actually, it is." I said, "Well, you ain't doing that. Give them here. Fuck off." Yeah. I said, "Go now before I give you a kicking." So I packed up and went home, because a mate of mine that I used to drink with at the pub, he worked for the RSPCA, the local rescue centre. So I phoned him and said, "Look, I've got these two kittens here." I said, "They can't be more than a day or two old." I said, "What am I going to do with them?" I explained how I come across them. And he come out and he said, "Well, I'll take them in." I said, "Well, I'd like to be able to do it myself if I can." So what he done, he bought me out a load of like a powdered formula, like a baby formula.
Yeah.
I had to get up certain times of the night and day and feed them with it. And he said, "Well, if you're going to do that," he said, "that would be absolutely brilliant. It'd save us having to take the time to do it." And he said, "Well, once they're weaned," he said, "I'll help you rehome them and what have you." But when it came to it, there was one I couldn't let go. It just clung to me every day. It went everywhere I went. And it was a bit like she got when she came along. And I just couldn't let him go, and I ended up keeping him. Sadly, he got run over because I lived in the town at the time. But I went on to get another two after that. And the last one was when I moved back up country. I said, "Well, look," I said, I can't take the cat with me where I'm moving to. And one of my mates said, "Oh, I'll take her. I'll take her on for you." She knew him. She trusted him. So I was quite happy to leave her behind. I knew he'd looked after her because he'd loved her.
Yep.
And that was how I got into having cats. This one come along because it's the daughters, really. But when she moved us in with us for a while, when she gave up her flat before they got the house, she had a staffy as well. But both rescue animals.
Yeah.
And the cat just took to me. She didn't bother with anybody else. She took to me. I used to give her a bit of fuss. I used to make sure she got her food separate from the dog so she didn't have to compete for her food and stuff like that. And she just clung to me. And that was it. We were inseparable. When Donna moved out, she took the dog and left me the cat.
Come back for the
back in a second.
Yeah.
She was going to come back for the cat, but he wouldn't let her go.
No, you were mine, wouldn't you? You little bitch. Biggest fucking mistake I ever made. But I love her, really.
I'd said
what's
no
been-
more animals because we lost a couple to the traffic out here, and I hate losing animals.
Oh, if we ever did get another one, it'd have to be a house cat again. You wouldn't be able to let it out to go out the front.
No, forget anything again. It'll be a dog. We can take it with us then on holiday.
Yeah. Sorry, wee one. I didn't realise you were eating, sweetheart.
Does not care.
I keep forgetting because we don't eat until after I finish the live. See,
I've got
by
to
the
order
time
it, yeah.
by the time Heather's got it all together, it's usually about 8 o'clock, and that's why I said rather than doing any work like that tonight.
No, I'm going to put the oven on and cook a pizza. We'll have a takeaway tomorrow.
Oh, all right then. That's it. I was looking forward to the kebab.
Okay.
The pussy whisperer, yeah. The mad cat man of the West Midlands.
If you do want it, I'll order it now because it'll take about 45 minutes to get here.
Yeah, but there's then that chance it's going to turn up after half an hour and I'll have to shut down early, won't it?
Well, all right, I'll order in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Gordon Bennett!
This is the sort of discussion we have just on a regular night over what we're having for dinner.
When I say now, I mean soon. Not right now, not right this second. Pedantic. Pernickety. Obstropolous. Do you want me to keep going?
Oh, it's up to you. I'm looking at a message here that somebody's trying to send. Matt, I haven't actually got Facebook open on the computer at the moment. Yeah.
Leave him messages.
It's fucking shit, isn't it? Oh dear. So I've just had some medication and it's a little bit.
We're all sounding pretty healthy.
Evening, loafer. Yeah, I can talk cat with a wee one, you know. Hello. Stop it, don't stop. Jeez. See, it's getting on towards evening, isn't it? I'll start growing horns and things then. Yeah, I do listen to a wee one. I've learnt the consequences of not doing it.
Oh, loafer, I like that one.
Yeah. No. He's probably sending rockets off arguing on Twitter. So what's Musk been up to? He's must been up to something again. Yeah, it's all right, Lee. I mean, I've got a bad throat anyway. I've had it for years after the fire in the car. I scorched all my esophagus and the inside. It's scarred, and that's any smoke, even my roll-ups, if they're a little bit rough, it sends me into a coughing fit.
It's either getting dry or good.
My lungs aren't quite as bad as the esophagus, but they are quite scarred as well. It wasn't actual flames. It was more, I had a big intake of the heat. I made the mistake of not holding my breath long enough. I knew I'd suffer a lot more from it in later years, but this is going to sound kind of weird because, as everybody knows, I've never been tested for any of the lurgy. I've never had a jabby jab or anything like that. But a month or so, was it the January?
January or February.
In the January or the February before they started all the lockdowns and that, Now, I was laid up for about 3 weeks.
You had the flu, well and truly.
Now, every year I used to get the regular flu, and it used to hit me hard. It would knock me off my feet for a week, literally. You know, everybody said, oh, it's man flu. You just go to work, you shrug it off. But it used to hit me that hard, I couldn't. But that particular year, I was knocked off my feet for about 3 weeks. Now, because the symptoms are very, very similar, although Heather never had it, I got a reasonable suspicion that I may have had the lurgy, and I may have got long COVID after it. Simply because I'm getting a lot more of the symptoms that they describe this thing produces. Right or wrong, I don't know. But I've always assumed that I'd had it because of the way it knocked me about. Although I've never been tested to prove anything. I won't do it on principle. But, you know, it was just something that made me sit up and think, well, now it's all coming out and the symptoms are coming out about, is it that? Or is it because of the strokes?
Yeah, you don't know, do you? Yeah, you don't know.
Well, it started before I had the strokes. I was already getting to the point where when I was at work, I was getting breathless more and more.
Yeah.
You know, it was either January or February 2000, Jason, when I went down. And it might have been just, you know, the flu hit me a bit harder. It could have been that. But, and to be honest, I'm never going to know because with everything I got going on medically now, they've already told me there's every chance I'm never going to work again. Nothing's ever going to go back to what it was. All they can do is control what I've got, which they're doing a good job of. I'll be honest. I can't knock them on that.
I didn't have the jab either. I mean, I never had the jab or anything like that. And I self-protected, but not deliberately. It was because I was getting ready to do a project for Etihad Rail out here. And literally, I walked into the offices at Etihad Rail. I was sitting down in the offices, and within 3 days, I had COVID. Now, it then took me 2 months to get a cleared sign because I had to prove that I could go back to work. So I had to do the thing once a week and prove, no, you still got COVID. No, you still got COVID. You know? I had it for around 2 months. And it was a case of...
I actually worked through lockdown. Although a non-essential job being a maintenance man and a decorator.
I
couldn't get supplies. I struggled to get paint. But what I did is the guy I worked for at the time, who was an accountant, he's got a grade 2 listed building. Now, what they used to do now and again, they'd empty an office for a couple of days. I'd go in and decorate that during the day. They'd move back in. Then some would move in there and I'd move around the offices. But he come up with the idea that, okay, look, everybody's working from home. The building's empty and it's going to be for quite some time. He said, if you're prepared to come in, he said, you've got the building to yourself.
Yep.
I went in and decorated virtually every bloody room in the place and a house further down the road.
Right.
And I never got pulled up once. Where you going? Are you an essential worker?
And the only thing that I find now is if I eat, I have to sleep for 20 minutes afterwards.
Mate, I'd sit here after my tea and I'll fall asleep in my chair. I'll put my feet up on the arm.
I can sleep standing up.
And I'll fall asleep.
I can sleep standing up. It doesn't bother me where I sleep. I just have to, as soon as I eat, boom, I get comatose and I'm gone. And I've never had that in my life, you know.
But Sundays, I always have a few hours kip anyway because I know I'm going to be up late or at least until midnight on Dan's.
Yeah.
So I always make sure, even if I don't sleep, I make sure I'm rested. But most of the time in the week, I can be up anything from 3 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the morning. It just depends how restless I am. And 9 times out of 10 in the week, I'm in bed latest 10 o'clock.
I get up about 4 a.m. every morning.
I mean, I'm awake at 2, 3 o'clock. and I might drift off for the odd hour in between. But even if I'm laid there, as long as I can stop my bloody mind working, I relax.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, start work. I work all the way through to about 12, 1, 2 in the afternoon, and then I'm sort of like, that's it now. I'll kick back, you know.
Well, I get this restless leg syndrome as well. I've had that for years. And that doesn't help. That does keep you awake.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But,
Yeah.
you know, they say, well, didn't it give you the fatigue having that for over the years? I said, no, I never really felt fatigued over the years. I mean, that has come in literally since I had the strokes. So I know where that's come from. But when, like I said before, when I've connected all the dots, this new one they found in this year, the polycythemia, well, that could have caused all my previous symptoms. So I could have had it and they've never found it.
Yeah. It's just the thing that struck me is because, like I said, I get up about 4 o'clock. I go out, I do 10-kilometre walk. I come back, I sit down at about 8 o'clock. I'll have breakfast, and then bang, I'm asleep in 20 minutes after. Just for 20 minutes. It's not for long. Just 20 minutes every meal. 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I mean, I even tried. I went back in for a few days, and I just couldn't do it. I think I lasted about an hour, and that was just mooching about. I was supposed to be moving a load of asbestos. But I just had to give it up. I mean, the boss was very good about it. And in fairness, he is an asshole, but he was always good to me. I had free hand, do what I want. I could even order tools if I needed them. All I had to do was get the money from petty cash. He never questioned anything. He never questioned any of my hours.
More importantly, all of this, I was in charge of petty cash.
Yeah, she was in charge of petty cash. She was the one that used to do me wages. Because she worked in payroll for him.
But he knew it wasn't being ripped off. He'd look at what went out at the end of the month. You know, it wasn't... but we were trusted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could pick my own hours. It was an ad hoc thing. If he needed something to, and he'd ring me. But there was a good continuation of work. There was literally always something for me to do each week, even if it was only for a couple of days.
Yeah.
I used to have a set of keys to the building, to the alarms and everything. I just came, if it's something I wanted to do when there's nobody there, I'll go over in an evening. Or I used to go over it a weekend.
Because you couldn't work when the between 9 and 5.
Most of the offices were busy during the day, so obviously I couldn't work in them with drills and planers and routers and stuff.
Right, well, I'm going to have to cut out because I've actually got a very important meeting at 6 a.m. in the morning. And
no
I
worries,
have to get that done.
I should be dropping out in half an hour anyway.
Yeah, so I'll say good night to one and all, and Merry Christmas to one and all.
Likewise, mate. I will be doing one. What we on now? Yeah, I will be doing a few more before Christmas. I might go live either Christmas Eve or Boxing Day, but only for an hour. So everybody can come in and wish everybody happy Christmas, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, everyone have a good weekend and enjoy yourselves and get your trees up and do whatever you have to do.
Likewise, mate.
I'm meeting every day now all the way through to next week, so I just have to. That's why I'm on the water. It's killing me, but it is what it is. All right.
Yeah.
Good night to one and all. Good night.
Easy, mate.
No.
And he was gone. Right, so let's see. Yes, Lee, I trust my immune system far more than any man-made drug.
Well, I'd put in there that you would have the flu. Other people around me would have the flu. I'd have a bit of a cough.
Yep.
So I must have caught a flu, but it's never had
that one's working again.
Never had a bad reaction like it does with others.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, didn't I? I'd fight anything like that off. Colds, sniffles. I did have a bit of an issue at one point with the odd insect bite. Normally they never used to bother me, but I had a couple where they didn't get infected. It was more like a reaction, like my hand come up like a bloody tennis ball when I had a bite on there. Where was the other one? It was on my neck, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. You keep showing me those strange bulges.
No, they're not bites. The ones I'm on about are the ones with the smooth, tight skin, not the wrinkly, saggy bits. But no, most things I've shrugged off. My biggest issue now is if I cut myself, I bleed like a haemophiliac because of the amount of blood thinners I'm on. And because of the polycythemia, obviously the red blood cells are overtaking the white blood cells, are the ones that fight shit like that. Any cuts or nicks I do get infected if I'm not careful. Even a scratch. But I mean, bruising, that's a common occurrence with me. I've only got to tap myself and it'll bruise. And before anybody asks, no, it doesn't look like a big mottled snake and it doesn't get battered and bruised. That's probably one of the only parts that doesn't. Here we go.
No, you've got no boys to play with you. It's all girls. You've got wee one, Missy, me. We'll take you over. Lee, I cannot be gender specific with Lee because it could be either way, even spelt that way. Bittersweet purple, male or female?
Bittersweet is female,
Yeah,
as
so
far as I can remember.
You are totally outnumbered by us women. You are totally outnumbered. We should turn it into the knitting channel now.
That's going away a bit like my sex life used to be.
You should be so bloody lucky. Oh, Moo's there. You're all right. You've got Moo. You stand a chance of dealing with us women with Moo.
Yeah, but Moo's got to be careful because he's got a dog collar to take into account.
Yeah, he doesn't have to wear it. He can take it off.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, my Lord. Run, Roger, run. You know, I ain't much of a man for book learning, but I can play a mean banjo.
It's going to take me all night to get this ordered because I don't know what I want.
Yeah, but when I hear I identify Aslo for the first words that come into my head, it's someone pretending to be. Those words register better with me. Oh dear.
Loafer, there would only be one option because as a dog there is a tendency you may bite the thermometer, so you would not be given the option.
Well, it's no good me being that. With my false teeth, they're more likely to fall out.
Even if you identify as a dog with no teeth, they still won't stick it in your mouth.
Oh my Lord. I was going to try and keep today on everything on topic as well. Okay, we'll bin the notes. Oh dear.
Anybody recommend something from an Indian? Boon, not too hot. A booner?
Oh, dog, I just feel rough. Well, you know what I want. So,
yes, I know what you want. I'm looking for suggestions.
better get an extra salad as well with it. They never put enough in. And mint sauce. Lambuna, wee one saying.
Yeah, I love lamb, But round here, there's a tendency it comes chewy. So I do tend to go for chicken just because I can eat it.
Number 1 and number 14 with naan bread.
This recipe doesn't have bloody numbers on it. It's Indian, not Chinese. Move. No. Step up. No. Vindaloo was many years
No,
ago.
no.
I moved on from Vindaloo, thank you.
Besides that, I got to sleep next to her and she sleeps with her back to me.
I thought you were late, but didn't want to put my foot in it.
I'm no worries, Lee.
It's all right. I worked with a Lee, my last job, and she did spell it Leigh, but in this day and age, I've seen all sorts of spellings for all sorts of names.
I mean, this is a problem I've always faced, isn't it, on here? Because doing Facebook as well, unless somebody uses their full name in contact, you literally don't know.
Well, no, you say Missy put a note in there. I think I've sent it to the right person. Well,
I did hear
and that's when I'm on screen. She can see me picture and see me face and knows my name, first name on Facebook.
The reason I ask usually is because when I reply to people in the comments, I always give a thumbs up to the guys and I give the kiss on the cheek emoji to the ladies. And I have made the mistake before and got it the wrong way round.
Oh, who was it?
So I tried to...
Actually, because this will make her laugh. At one point, you thought we won was a boy.
I thought we won.
You thought we won was the boy, a young lad. So. And
then again, you go onto Facebook and you're chatting away to somebody and they're like, who the hell's that? And they got a different name to what they've got on YouTube. Oh, yeah, I know who it is.
And then you've got those that have got like different named accounts on YouTube and a different named account on Facebook. And then that's neither of them is still their actual name. So you still wouldn't know them on the electoral roll.
Sorry for saying about that to you. What did you say, Lee? I didn't say anything, mate. I'm sure if it was anything unsavoury, somebody would have brought it to my attention.
So Lee's with Rogan Josh.
Lee Cooper.
Missy is a comma. Yeah. If I make my own, it's I do like a comma level of spice, but then I'll add cashews and things into it as well. Sometimes, occasionally, sultanas. So God knows what that is. It's one of mine. So I don't very often have korma from the takeaway, but I do love korma.
Well, what they do is Heather and her daughter, they'll go out every now and again and they'll buy a bulk load of meat, and then they have a big cook up, like chicken that'll be done into meal portions of sweet and sour curry, and stuff like that, and that goes in the freezer in meal-sized portions because there's only the two of us, and everything's quick and easy. Then she just has one weekend of blitzing cooking.
I was actually going to make one. It would have been cooking while we were doing this, but I forgot to get the ingredients while I was out. Then he said we'll have a takeaway, and I thought, yes, stuff it. Oh, Missy can't see me at the back of the room. Oh, you're forgiven. You're forgiven. You didn't offend. You didn't offend. So
I haven't got a zoom on this camera either. Charlie, welcome.
Since I come up on camera.
Another new sub. We're going to be running for about another 10 minutes or so.
Is that get out there and order your dinner, love?
Eh?
Is that you saying get
No, new subscriber. It's just jumped into the chat. So I was saying welcome.
Oh, not get the dinner ordered.
No, I was just saying they've only just come in, but I'm only going to be live for about another 20 minutes or so, and that's it. So, but thank you for dropping in. Welcome. Hope you enjoy it. A bit different to my videos, if you've seen some of those. But Mrs. Moon. Yeah, we're all friends in here. We're all like-minded. We all have a giggle together. And most of us are part of a wider community as well, the PAP community. And many of us are part of the Reverend Sideman Sideways community as well.
But I think as a whole, Lee's worried about upsetting somebody there. I think as a whole, in this group, we are adults.
Yeah.
If you make a comment, and actually it's not that bad, but we just don't respond.
No, if someone had
offended.
No, if someone had took offence, Lee, to anything you'd said, mate, they would have certainly told me, because they know I run zero tolerance for stuff like that on here.
But none of us
Missy,
are
not
like that,
mercy.
you know. We've all got thick skin. We've all been through life. We've all had our own fair share of height to climb through. So we all know where everybody is coming from.
Yeah, but that's the new title for us, isn't it, Jason? We're not we're the far right. If they want to brand me far right for my views, that's their prerogative.
Can I stick an extra F in there?
F in where?
Far right.
Far right.
I'm not just far right. I'm fucking
far right. Yeah. But yeah, Tucker Carlson interview was good. I don't watch him, Loafer. To be honest, I don't get a lot of time to watch stuff like that. There is one or two on Facebook that some of their posts I will take the time to watch. One, because they're a friend, and two, it's very, very relevant to what we talk about. That shows how many people read your comment. That's not nice, move.
No, I think at the time Missy might have been messaging me. So.
I'll be asking your big boss to give you a strike before long.
Okay.
Alex Jones.
I can't even decide what I want yet, Missy, so it could be 9 o'clock before we eat.
Yeah. Well, it depends on delivery time.
What I said on the phone applies.
But at least they can't use the snow as an excuse today. That's all we've had was that one night, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was gone by mid-morning. That's all right, Missy. Don't worry about it. You see some of the conversations we have here sometimes, and she'll be trying to listen to something. I'm having a conversation with myself. She thinks I'm talking to her.
Oh, it's great round here.
It's absolutely hilarious.
I end up watching the telly with the subtitles on.
We was got a new bomb.
Because he moans that I have the telly louder than his computer, but for me, the computer is louder than the telly. So I can't hear what I'm trying to watch.
Yeah, I know one of them I've got coming wee one. One, because of my joints and everything. I sitting down even in this office chair, I've got a cushion under me. And that's why I keep shifting around. And there goes that fucking camera again. And it's not lasting very well at all today. No, I think it could be the heat up there. But anyway, we'll leave it off for now. We'll finish off on this one.
My problem, Moo, is I love chow mein, but not tonight. There again, I'll do my own stir fry.
But I know one of my Christmas presents is a nice memory foam cushion for my chair.
You've been looking at my eBay purchases.
Yeah, I've got access to the eBay.
I know you've got access to it. You're not supposed to.
I've got access to your PayPal as well. But no, I'm one of these. If I'd never ask for presents, I don't expect them. But I'd rather have something that's functional rather than something that's just going to get looked at for a few days and put in the cupboard and forgotten about. I'd rather have something I can use. Yeah, even as I got older as a kid, that's the way the parents used to work with us back then as well. You always got something you could use, new clothes. You very rarely got any toys. Frankincense, yeah. And a nightmare. Yeah, a bong is functional, wee one. Absolutely. Every time I used to use one of them, I had a tendency to white out. Everybody else used to think it was fucking hilarious, but yeah, give it to him, watch him fall over. And I used to get the same mountain biking because I never smoke full ones. As I say, it's literally only for pain relief and shit. One or two mountain biking used to help, relax the muscles a bit. I rode a little bit better. But then someone else would pass one round, and of course it had 5 or 6 more times the amount in it as what I used to use. And yeah, the riding used to get hilarious after that. You'd see 4 trails, you couldn't make up your mind which one to go down, so you'd hit a tree before you made up your mind, and you reacted late to things. That was always amusing. I tried a bum once, didn't you? You didn't wiggle enough then, Moo. I'll tell you what, Jason, if you ever want to try something or get somebody to try something that's hilarious, try the walking around in circles with your head on a broomstick and then try and walk in a straight line or kick a football, that old one. Now, you imagine trying to do that, and as soon as you drop the stick, you got to get on a mountain bike and ride down a hill. It ain't happening. We've tried it, honestly. We did do it safely. We just picked just a grass slope. But yeah, you can't ride a mountain bike after doing that. And the results are absolutely piss funny. It's a shame nobody had a camera. I can testify it does not work. I think I fell off before I even got my feet on the pedals. Yeah, I was never one for drinking games, Jason. The last time I it wasn't competitive drinking, but the last time I drank way too much more than I should have was the night I embarrassed myself down in Newquay, and Heather had to actually carry me back to the hotel under her arm.
Do you have to keep bringing that up?
Yes, I've already got my backy organised for over Christmas, Lee. In fact, I've got a new packet down there, and my duty frees should be arriving within the next couple of days. So.
With another trip before Christmas?
With another trip before Christmas, yeah. All bought legally. Unfortunately, round here, most of the cheap stuff that's going is hooky stuff. It's counterfeit.
And I'm not asking that bitch to get me anything anyway.
And it rips the hell out of your throat. It really does. It's like smoking cotton wool. Hello, new comments. What's going on? What's going on here? Oh, I must have moved that. Hello, comments have frozen on StreamYard. Something strange is going on there. Let me disconnect that camera.
Chinese curry for breakfast.
I don't mind cold curry, me. Cold
I
corner.
don't mind cold curry. I was just saying Chinese curry isn't spicy enough. But Stepper says he likes it for breakfast. He always gets one so he can have it for breakfast. I am trying to lose a bit of weight, so Chinese curry for breakfast is not high on the agenda. Plus, I only eat small meals.
All right, and Missy, you take care, sweetheart. We'll
Yeah, I'll
probably
catch you
see
later,
you
Missy.
Sunday, I expect, on Paps. Yeah, we can get it around here for around a tenner, Lee. But as I say, most of it is counterfeit, and you don't know which are and which ain't because, you know, the packets are that good now.
But you've got to get it from Morticia.
Oh, there are one or two outlets. I mean, Ted weren't bad at the hospital because his was proper stuff, but
that's what I mean. We don't.
But to be honest, 2-ounce packets getting them legally, it isn't costing me much more than a tenner, or us more than a tenner a packet anyway. So
might have gone up to 11.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
but it's proper.
It's still better than nearly 30 bloody quid,
Well,
you know, and it is genuine
it's proper,
tobacco.
and it's his allowance.
Yeah, and it is the ones that are made for the British market because it's different to the continental ones as well. It's different to the ones you buy in France. Yeah, I should give up the ciggies as well, Jason. I did give them up for quite some time. But I think it was more me where I was at the time that I just needed a fag to calm down, and I started again. But as I've always said now, 99.9% of the time, the only time I use the old lettuce is for medicinal purposes. As I say, Christmas, yeah, maybe one or two more just to get me on the level that the drinkers are at, just to make it more fun. Trolley Dolly relative gets it. Yeah, we got trucks that go out quite regular, and they bring it back. Obviously, it's gifted to us. That's why they buy it. That's what you got to do by law.
And I gift him some money back.
Yeah, and we gift some money back. Yeah. Oh, here's some money for your next holiday. Yeah, it is. To be honest, Jason, if I had to pay full price for it, I'd probably give up. Yeah, that's what we smoked, Lee, and Belief. I was always an old Oldham man. I didn't like Golden Virginia. It was too light for me. Yeah, Heather's got vapes. But again, the only time she smokes tailor-mades is when we're gifted them, shall I say. So, but again, it's another one that the prices will go up. They've changed the law to phase it out eventually. Luckily enough, at our age, that ban isn't going to affect us because we'll be long gone before that generation. Well, we'll never be. They never stop us smoking. It's all aimed at stopping the younger ones.
But I've said there will come a time in 10, 20 years, perhaps, where shops won't be stocking tobacco and cigarettes because there's no demand for it.
Yeah, there won't be when our generation is gone. But there is a way around it in law where you can grow your own tobacco plants. Just one to think about it. There's a bloke, I can't remember where he was. He's up north somewhere. He's been growing his own tobacco plants and processing the leaves quite legally for, I think he said something like the last 15 years. Just a thought.
Loafer. I was talking to the lad in one of the shops the other day, and he was telling me how smoking's bad for me and it costs the NHS if I'm ill. And I pointed out to him that the cigarettes he sells me are twice the price of duty frees. So the amount of tax I've paid over the years paid for my future NHS care, as far as I'm concerned.
Bittersweet. Now, you say that about the alcohol. Now, personally, the way they restructured it earlier in the year, or was it late last year, to me, it is a fairer way of doing it. It's still way over the top and too much, but it is a fairer way of doing it. But as we know, once smoking's bad for you became about, and they started banning all the adverts and sponsorship, it was plainly obvious back then that there was going to be an ongoing war against smokers. The first one, obviously, America, there's places where you're not allowed to smoke on the street.
Or in buildings.
Or in certain buildings. But the biggest change was when New Zealand brought in the same system that they put in place here now. New Zealand was the first one to come up with that. And they put that in during the pandemic. That was old Sugar brought that in.
Can I interrupt you for just one moment, darling?
What?
Well, I'm going to get this dinner ordered.
Yeah.
Do you want any vargies or anything?
No. If it's the main course one.
Just with extra salad and
extra salad and mint sauce, yeah. Thank you.
We'll get a fucking container full of mint sauce.
I forgot where I was at now.
Sorry.
What was I fucking talking about?
Won't matter. Go back and watch the break time.
Yes, Stepper, I can remember when you smoke on aircraft, mate. Let alone trains. Yeah, pubs, cinemas. Yeah, it used to be smoke on all of them when I was out there.
Upstairs on the bus?
Yeah, they used to frown at it on the school bus, but as long as you were on the back seat, they didn't mind. There was a lot used to go on the back seat of the school bus they didn't know about. Yeah. It used to be the biggest one, didn't it? When the smoke would be up in front of the beams from the camera, and if you flicked peanuts and stuff into it, it was like a shooting star lit up going across the cinema. Yeah, another liberty taken away from us. But I mean, I've been smoking since I was what? Well, if I'm honest, I was probably about 12. I had my first one. It wasn't continuous from then, but I did get smoking regular into my teens, to the point where my mother wrote to the school to tell them that I had her permission to smoke and that she was providing me with the cigarettes. So at break times, if I wanted a fag, I had to go and stand outside the staff room and stand outside, but I could actually have a cigarette at school and they couldn't touch me for it. But as she said, she would rather give me the ciggies and me smoke in front of her than me steal them off her and smoke behind her back or steal money from her purse to go and buy them. You killed Roy Castle. Yep, I used to smoke the non-tips that she had as well. What was the one? Weights she used to have. And I smoked non-tip for years. I smoked Sweet Afton. It's an Irish cigarette that were short ones. I think you can still get them. They're non-tipped. They were named after the old Robbie Burns poem, Sweet Afton. My teachers would never allow that, but they couldn't stop me with them. Not once I got permission from my mum. And funny enough, we never did a lot of smoking indoors at home. Most of it was out the back. Yeah, number 6, Jason. Never smoked in their cars. Yet my father died of cancer. Never smoked one in his life. And he wasn't a drinker either. He'd had brandy at Christmas or a shandy if we were out at somewhere on holiday, but that was about it. Right, guys, I will be shutting down shortly. I'm just going to wait for Mrs. W to come back in so she can say goodnight to you all as well. She's currently ordering tea. But honestly, guys, again, today, you've been absolutely amazing. You know, I can say I've never seen such a respectful bunch of people on a live stream in the chat. It's so refreshing. And there are one or two others that stream that are getting there as well, that are getting that way. They're getting themselves sorted out. And if you want to run a quiet stream, you've got to be that way about it. I mean, Heather said earlier on, you've got some new subs in, most of them you know, or somebody knows them. But yes, you can never be sure. One of those could be a troll. But until they expose themselves or whatever, as long as they're respectful in the chat, they'll get that respect back in here. If they are in there, I'd love to think that they change their mind and say, look, this is how much fun it can be without being a bitch. That's just the way I run my channel. If people don't like it, then they don't have to come in here. But I'm always fair. I will listen to other opinions as long as they're given respectfully. And I expect everybody to receive other people's opinions respectfully just as much. And it does make a nicer environment to be in. Yeah, we swear. We take the piss out of each other. But to me, that's what I've always done with what I call friends.
Oh, don't worry, nothing gets wasted.
You know? Oh, hello, it sounds like she's bagging some free bits as well. Well, she's a cheeky one, yeah. If there's anything free, have it. How do you think she ended up with me? Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I try to keep it that way. And as I say, the live streams are a little bit of a release from putting out the doom and gloom all week in the videos. Oh, we're getting paid now for overtime. Yeah, but that's another thing that I always set out when I first started. I'm never, ever going to do this to make money from it. I don't want money from it. That's why, people have asked me, oh, do you do a Dropbox or a donations thing? Well, no, because that's not why I'm here. I'm here to meet friends and get a message out in the videos and end of. And so far, most of the people I've met have turned out to be good friends. And we had planned before my stroke to do a little bit of traveling around now and again and come and meet a few more. That still might happen. You never know what areas we go to. Right, she's back. I've been waiting for you to come back so you can say goodnight to everybody.
Already? It's going to be another hour.
Yeah, so I need to rest. I've got things to do. Yeah.
Sorry to keep
yeah.
you waiting.
That's
then.
all right,
I'm so
that's all
sorry, darling.
My eyes have been going for about the last 20 minutes, but
if I'd have realised we were that close to closing up, I'd
yeah,
have left it.
yeah. No, I've kept it going up until now. It's absolutely fine.
No, well, it's been lovely as always. Everybody's behaved themselves. Yeah. Catch you all again next week.
Bit of sweet ones to see the tea.
What you? I thought you were being rude then.
No, my t-shirt was down.
Show us your t-shirt. Yeah, I think I'll get one of mine out for next time. As we get closer to Christmas, we'll get a bit more. We'll get a bit more Christmassy. Be Santa or a snowman.
Right. With that said, guys, it's good night from me and it's good night from her. Thank you for turning up this afternoon and this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. My respects to each and every one of you. And as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay free. Have a great weekend, guys.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.